75 minutes, last night against Sweden. I think that's a frustrating thing, and actually for a lot of nations, probably coming up against England right now, a really tough thing to plan. What England are you coming up against?
Remember, England versus Italy will be live on talkSPORT. Liverpool are closing in on Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike in a deal that looks to be around 70 million. He's already agreed personal terms with the Premier League champions over a 6-year contract. It's a blow to Newcastle, who were interested in him first. So what's the deal with this striker? Here's German football broadcaster Konstantin Eckner.
Bit of a lanky striker, 6'2", roughly that, but actually quite a good technician, and also someone who can dribble, can come from outside the box. Also something else which probably is highly valued by Arne Slot. He's a great pressing player.
For all the latest transfer news, head to our live blog at talksport.com. Man United's new £50 million training ground is getting its own barbers and a new swimming pool. It's expected to open next month. I guess the team can thank Cristiano Ronaldo after he moaned about the facility so much when he returned in 2021. And don't forget to tune into talkSPORT 2 throughout the day for your day 2 coverage of the Open.
It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 here on talkSPORT. Well, this afternoon, Andy, please tell us what's coming up.
Well, coming up over the next 3 hours, Stan Collymore joins us to look at the week's big stories. Penalties expert Ben Littleton dissects the England-Sweden shootout.
Yeah.
And we're at the weigh-in ahead of Dubois versus Usyk.
We'd also welcome your penalty shootout stories, plus dogs watching telly. And that's on a day that Charlie isn't in. And we'll chat to actor and Manchester United fan James Nesbitt live from Royal Portrush.
It's all this plus the clips of the week, and baseball star makes Mutt famous in Todd Macklin's American Sports Roundup.
Canine heavy. Oh yeah, Todd's a bit earlier today. He's got stuff on. Well, so for him, it's going to be about 5, 6 in the morning, but he's doing it anyway. So it is 3 minutes past 1. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, everybody. How exciting was that last night?
Well, they put us through the ringer, didn't they?
Well, it's like the men, isn't it? It's the same thing as England in an international tournament.
You're allowed a performance like that along the way. Every team, when they look back at tournaments, hopefully they go on to win and do well in. You can have a little stinker like that. And
they didn't play well, but their never say die attitude was admirable. It really was.
No, it was. And we're going to be chatting. Jordan Nobb's going to join us a little bit later on, the former England player. We'll get a take on it. And Ben Littleton.
What's the worst penalty shooter I've ever seen in my life?
Adrian Durham.
But who cares?
Yeah, exactly. That's what Adrian said.
He's
wasn't
right.
It? Yeah.
And actually, I hate pens unless you win them, really. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But, there were some great moments.
Thank you for that insight.
Yeah, I know. And but I thought the Robin Cousins, the commentary, when Adjuman
not Robin Cousins, he's the skater. Robin Cowan.
Robin Cowan.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm really on form this week.
Yeah, you are.
Fantastic. Robin Cowan. She went so mad. It was brilliant. I've never heard her do that. That. Really unrestrained.
You're allowed one of those when you've been following the team as long as she has.
Changing the subject to Gwyneth Paltrow's breakfast. I was thinking.
Oh well, that is a bit of a gear. That is a bit of a gear shift. Although that was a fanzine, wasn't it? Gwyneth Paltrow's breakfast, just £1.
No, breakfast smoothie. I just thought of you because it's a tremendous effort.
Okay, what does Gwynny put in her
smoothie?
Breakfast smoothie, yeah.
Paleo protein powder. Isn't that something to do with dinosaurs?
Paleo protein powder, yeah.
Fibre. Well, why not?
Yeah.
Thorn creatine. I don't know who that is.
Right.
Vanilla microbiome breakthrough.
Biome breakthrough?
Yes, exactly.
What is that?
I've no idea. Unsweetened hemp milk. Not Lauren hemp milk.
I don't know about you. Unsweetened Lauren hemp milk. I don't think so.
No.
I prefer my hemp milk sweetened. I don't know about you.
Body Bio PC. Well, at least it's PC.
I suppose it wouldn't be un-PC with Gwyneth, would it, really?
Psyllium husk.
Oh, I used to love him. He did that art programme. He did that. He did that art programme on BBC4. Hello, I'm Psyllium Husk. You find me today. The Mark Rothko room here. It'd be great, wouldn't it? You can almost see him, can't you, old Psyllium? Some scarf round his neck. So you are listening to talkSPORT, and we probably got our biggest weekend of sport ever on the station.
Absolutely.
But I find there's always time for Psyllium Husk.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, it is absolutely
Is that
right.
it? Is there anything more in our show?
No, what else is there?
I bet it tastes like absolute filth, doesn't it? What's in it?
Berries and a single date. Not two, you mind.
Yeah.
A single date.
I imagine Gwenny goes out for one of those now and again, and they make it for her just as she wants it, and she'll say, "This has got 2 dates in it. Don't try. Someone's dropped an extra date in this, and the hemp milk's been sweetened. So take that away and bring back what I want."
I told you you'd like it.
Yeah. What else have you seen, listeners? What else did you? Psyllium Husk, when you look back on his career, what were some of your other favourite moments of his career, Psyllium? Because I don't think he's with us anymore.
I think he's gone now.
Yeah. talkSPORT.com. Text 81089, tweet TSH in
There's a lot of transfers about, and I do like the sound of Wrexham's new signing.
Yeah.
Liberato Carcace.
Liberato
Carcace, which is basically Liberace. Let's be honest.
Liberace McPherson.
Well, why not?
Liberace Gemmell.
Very much so.
Let's have your flamboyant pianists / Scottish players of the 70s.
I've gone now.
Yeah, he's totally gone.
Anyway, good.
Okay.
Yes, what else?
Is that it?
Well, basically.
What about dogs on telly? Not dogs on telly. There's plenty of them. What about dogs watching telly?
Oh, really?
Well, you always see these things, don't you? People often sort of talk about, the dogs, they love watching telly. Oh, my dog, he sits in there watching the entire series of Yellowstone. but my dog doesn't.
No.
She'll lie there, and I think sometimes she's watching the telly. Then I go around there, and her eyes are closed. She's clearly not.
Not interested.
This is because there is a reason. I'm just brought this up apropos of nothing. And scientists, of course, they have. Boffins have examined dogs' tastes in television programmes.
Got nothing else to do.
No. Yeah. So this is the research. Yeah. Shouldn't they be at work? Aren't there diseases that need sorting out? Excitable dogs love watching coverage of tennis balls flying around at Wimbledon, hoping to catch one. Well, mine doesn't, basically.
What about one man and his dog? They suddenly end up going into the bathroom in a very orderly way. That's ridiculous.
That would be good. There's certain things they like watching. It doesn't say whether they're big fans of the soaps. Anyways, this is an Alabama university, so if you watch too much American telly, you'll go mad. But anyway, my dog, the only time she's ever shown any reaction to anything was skiing. Was Ski Sunday. That happened to be on one Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And she saw I must have been that bright white colour coming through. And that was it. Yeah. And how many times she's ever...
Not David Vine's jumpers or anything like that.
No, started barking at the telly because... That wasn't that long ago. Started barking at the telly when there was skiing on. So, anyway, what does your dog watch on the telly? Despite the fact, as I say, it's probably our biggest weekend of sport ever on talkSPORT. But we will be covering all that. Rest assured, we'll get all that sorted for you. And we are going to kick off though talking about the Lionesses. But anything else you want to discuss? Oh, there is something else. Your shootout stories I thought might be interesting because of a Sunday morning, Saturday afternoon, your games go to shootouts. So if you want to take us through a bit of a shootout war story, if it can match what went on with the Lionesses last night, be mightily impressed. The amount that were missed.
Yeah, it wasn't even saves, was it? I mean, The goalies one was fantastic, wasn't it? When she had the shot to win it right over the top.
Oh, yeah. Blimey, have you ever seen anybody more terrified than that kid who walked up for the last Swedish pen? She was Petri, just knew she was going to miss.
Oh, no, it's a shame. She's young, isn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty tough on her. Anyway, they got over the line. We're going to be chatting to Jordan Nobbs later on. James Nesbitt is going to join us, as is Chris Hollins, who makes a fine golf programme you were telling me.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Golf's great holes, isn't it?
It's sort of part travelogue, part sport programme. It's very interesting.
So we're going to join them at Portrush, see if they're having a good time. Jim Hamilton, former Scotland lock, will be joining us to build up to our commentary tomorrow, live and exclusive from 10 here on talkSPORT of the Lions against the Wallabies. We've also got Todd Macklin joining us earlier than usual. Stan Collymore, Josh Rock from the world of darts. We've got the darts for you this weekend on talkSPORT 2. World Match Player Darts, and Josh is joining us. Let's talk of a Ryder Cup. Well, I say talk. Nathan Aspinall thinks it's a good idea. A Ryder Cup of darts.
The only thing is, they've got to be careful, darts. It's really.
This is one of the players.
You don't want to overdo it.
Suggesting it. Anyway, of course, they won the World Cup recently, didn't they, Northern Ireland? So we'll have a chat with Josh about that. He was part of that. Clips of the week. And, of course, we've got boxing for you. And the Open is well underway. So let's cross now to Roll Portrush and get an update with Arnold Clark.
The Open Update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Everything for your car, all in one place.
And Rupert Ball's watching it all unfold. Good afternoon, Rupert. Does your dog watch the telly at any point? Or no?
Well, sadly, dear old Fudge passed away. I've got Percy the cat, who's not averse to just sitting in front of the television.
What does he like, Percy? What sort of stuff does he like?
Well, probably mice videos.
Does he like? I would imagine he must like things like Antiques Roadshow, because you can then point Percy at the porcelain, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I see exactly where you've gone there, yes. Uncle. Yes, but we'll leave it there.
Yeah, we will.
Anyway, I try and keep him away from the porcelain, actually, because he might break it. But anyway.
What's happening at the Open, Rupert?
Well, that's more importantly. Yeah. Brian Harman, winner in Hoylake 2 years ago, is having a sensational round. Conditions are actually pretty benign, but Harman is moving to 7 under par, having started the day at 2 under par. Really good round of golf he's putting together, and that's why he's 2 clear of Tyrrell Hatton, the Englishman, with Harris English in both at 5 under. The Harris English, the American, both going along very nicely. I watched Hatton yesterday, and he was striking the ball brilliantly, and he's continuing in the same vein. Rasmus Højgaard had slipped up from being 6 under par, now has slipped back to 4 under. It's a frustrating day for Rory McIlroy. He's got to the turn, but he's played some good stuff, but he can't find the fairway, and that's why he's still at his starting score of 1 under par, and that's currently 6 back. For Justin Rose, he's just had a horror at the 11th. A triple bogey 7 has meant that he has slipped back to level par. Does possibly seem to be carrying a little bit of an injury, but that will be frustrating for Justin Rose. But Brian Harman, the champion 2 years ago, is currently out in front by 2.
Thanks. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Rupert. Regular updates from Rupert throughout the afternoon today. As we said, we'll be chatting to Chris Hollins, TV presenter, and James Nesbitt a little bit later on, both at Royal Portrush this afternoon. And yeah, I mean, where do we even start this weekend? Let's give you a build-up of what we've got for you on talkSPORT. I'd probably argue, we were saying, we've been here a long time, and I can't think of a weekend we've had something like this. We've got Open coverage for you all weekend. We've got live exclusive Lions cricket, the first rugby, the first test tomorrow in Brisbane. We've got Usyk versus Dubois tomorrow evening. We've got the PDC World Match Play Darts in Blackpool on the Darts YouTube channel. We've got Women's Euros, Germany versus France on talkSPORT 2 tomorrow evening. And, of course, we've got cricket as well. We've got England's women versus India women, second one-dayer. So it's an absolutely nuts day of sport. And the Open is live over on talkSPORT 2 as well throughout the day. So this really is, if you haven't downloaded the talkSPORT app yet, this really is the time to do it, because you can switch around. It makes the whole process much easier, and you can listen to all of our sister stations, including Times Radio and Virgin. And Charlie Baker's on Virgin tomorrow. Did you know this, Andy?
Yes, I heard him
doing
say,
his music show tomorrow afternoon, I think, from 1 or 2. But anyway, go and check out Charlie if you can. But obviously not to the detriment of talkSPORT. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. To get in touch this afternoon,
listen to both at the same time.
No, I know. I'm just trying to be supportive of a pal at the same time. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089. Tweet to TSH&J 03717 223344. Ben Littleton, the author of the magnificent book on penalties, the definitive work, 12 Yards, will be joining us to put last night's mayhem in Switzerland into context. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation, delivery in as little as 30 minutes with Fast Track. Next stop, Toolstation.
Nearly 2 years ago, the controversy surrounded, was it a low blow, wasn't it a low blow?
I'm sure we'll see it again, but the crowd are booing. As soon as it landed, you could see the pain on Usyk.
This is what I want, and now we're getting it. It's a big show, and yeah, we're going to put it right.
Gets Dubois going, and now Dubois coming back.
Of pure jeopardy for England is about to begin. And Walsh has given it away. Blackstenius on the edge of the D, and Aslani, the captain, is in, and she buries it. And England are punished. What a mess at the back inside the second minute. England haven't woken up yet. That's the ball for Blackstenius. She's raced into the area. She's clear on goal. It's 2. An England inquest going on in the middle of the field of play. They're heading out of the tournament.
Utter rubbish from England.
Chloe Kenny with time to cross in towards Bronze. It's in! England have got one back! Lucy Bronze! Maybe, just maybe, the dream is still alive! Whips it in, Mead is there, and Jibang! 2-2! The Lionesses have come back from the dead! The pressure was on, but England have shown why they're champions!
Why was everybody moaning?
England's fate in this quarter-final to be decided from the spot. Holmberg, it's over! England are in the semi-final! 2-2 after extra time, and would you believe it, England win it 3-2 on penalty.
Why was anybody moaning, says Adrian.
I don't know. It's great. Brilliant. You would have given them all 1 out of 10 if they'd lost.
Look, it comes from a place of love. He loves women's football and he loves the Lionesses, so when they're playing badly, you're going to take all the praise. You have to take the brickbats as well, and they weren't good.
No,
and the penalties in the main were not good either. There were some good ones in there, and we'll pick the bones out of that penalty shootout because it was one of the crazier ones.
9 out of 14 missed. I know. It's incredible.
The definitive work on penalty shootouts, of course, is a book called 12 Yards, The Art and Psychology of the Perfect Penalty, and the author, Ben Littleton, joins us now. Good afternoon, Ben.
Hi, Paul. Hi, Andy.
So where does it fit in the great pantheon of penalty shootouts you've witnessed? And you've witnessed a lot, probably more than anybody.
Well, in terms of drama, it was definitely up there. There was a bit of farce in there as well. I mean, you don't need to score all your penalties for it to be an exciting shootout. But Sweden did have chances to win it. Oh. And some of the choices that were made throughout the shootout were fascinating and, quite frankly, bizarre as well. I was really surprised that after saving 3 penalties, the Swedish goalkeeper Falk was happy to take the 5th penalty to be the hero. But none of the Swedish strikers seemed to be stepping up at all. And Blackstenius was subbed off with just 5 minutes to play.
Yeah, I thought that was strange.
The player that replaced her, Blomqvist, I thought would take one, but she didn't take one. And then Lena Hurtig, who was on the pitch, who actually scored a penalty for Sweden against USA in their World Cup win in 2023. She didn't take one at all. So I was surprised at the Swedish penalty choices. But England are now a team that wins penalty shootouts. I mean, Lucy Bronze was talking about proper England before the match. And proper England now is a team that wins penalty shootouts. The Lionesses have won their 3 out of 3, their last 3 shootouts, and the men's team have won 3 of their last 4. So, this is proper England now, guys. 9
missed penalties. I'm sure you can probably pull on a penalty shootout that was worse than that over the years from the record books.
Well, I can. There are some, but my mind went back really to the Men's World Cup of 2022, and I was thinking, which teams have really kind of underachieved in shootouts. And Spain missed 3 penalties out of 3 against Morocco at that World Cup. Sarabia, Soler and Busquets all missing from the spot. So they scored 0 out of their penalties, which is, worse than both England and Sweden. In the same tournament, Japan missed 3 out of 4 against Croatia. And those players who missed were all players with Premier League experience: Minamino, Mitoma and Yoshida. This is what pressure can do when you're up against it. What looks like a really easy task for these fantastic players, suddenly their legs go to jelly, their heads go as well, and it becomes really difficult.
The frustration for me was good players stepping up and hitting very obvious penalties at good heights. I mean, all
Lauren James, she knows how to strike a ball. I was really surprised.
I thought she would put her foot through it, and she tried to just sort of stroke it into the corner.
Grace Clinton the same.
They seemed to, a lot of the girls were telegraphed. I mean, Russo's was very good. It was Harry Kane-like into that side netting. You're not stopping that. Chloe Kelly, you would have put your mortgage on her scoring. She looked so confident. And Lucy Bronze did what I thought 1 or 2 of the others would have done at times, because the keeper was committing herself. So just drill it, go down the middle. There were some odd choices made.
Well, that's right. I always say I like penalty struck hard down the middle, because goalkeepers often say, and the numbers show, that they don't stay in the middle. They like to move because it looks like then they're trying. It's called inaction bias. They always try and dive because otherwise people think they're not trying, even though staying in the middle is an active choice. I also thought Lauren James looked a bit nervous before her penalty. She kept looking at the referee, which is a sign that you're focusing on other things rather than what you're trying to do. And she was very quick to react. And I've spoken about how you need to take your time after the referee blows the whistle to take the penalty. But we do need to talk about Chloe Kelly, because not only her performance when she came off the bench to set up Lucy Bronze for the first goal and her cross for the second goal, but she's a big game player when it comes to penalty shootouts as well.
It was the routine was good, Ben, wasn't it? She's got that little routine of spinning the ball back on the spot, maybe to focus. Then she does that thing with a leg. She starts the run up. She's obviously, but it was great, wasn't it? Completely worked for her.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And between those two things, so she spun the ball on the spot 5 times. She did lift her left leg very high to start her run up. And between those two things, she looked at the goalie and she laughed. and she smiled. And that sends a message, whether she's nervous or not. It doesn't look like she's nervous. And that sends a message to the goalkeeper and everyone else watching that this is something that's not to be feared. She saw this as an opportunity. She, of course, scored the winning penalty for the Lionesses against Nigeria at the last World Cup. And that was a penalty that was clocked in at over 100 kilometres per hour. She also scored the winning penalty against Brazil in the Finalissima at Wembley. So, you know, when it comes to penalties, she is the one you want standing over it. And her penalty was to avoid defeat. And the numbers always say that if you're kicking to avoid defeat, it is much harder to score. It's much scarier. And you go in thinking I must not miss rather than I must score. So her penalty was a really, really important one. And I think it really helped England get through.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder if they get another shootout, whether some of these girls will try something different. Because like you say, Ben,
I mean, I think they will be thinking about it, and they will. I mean, there was the Falk, the goalkeeper, had the names on the bottle and their preferred choices, and they obviously went with that because she seemed very confident, was going early for those. Goalkeepers taking pens, as you say, I mean, look, we've seen it plenty of times over the years. But we were talking about it, our producer, Sean, was saying, the expectation was she was going to score because she'd be brilliant at penalties because she was stepping up to take one. But she basically took a goal kick, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. It was strange. I mean, I'm a big fan of goalkeepers taking penalties. Jordan Pickford has taken one and scored for England against Switzerland in a successful shootout. And, you know, they can kick the ball really hard because they do it all the time. But I was surprised that she stepped up at that moment simply because none of the Swedish attacking players were stepping up. So I think if, depending on the five, and we don't always know, you know, what the list is, the Swedes have said that the coach decided the 1 to 11 after the final whistle of extra time had gone. But yeah, I was a bit surprised at their order, let's say.
And you just know when a player's going to miss. And poor old Holmberg, young Holmberg, she looked terrified, didn't she? Absolutely terrified. And it wasn't a massive surprise when she hoiked it high and wide.
Yeah, I agree. I felt really bad for her. 18 years old, was brilliant when she came off the bench and, you know, sort of made an impact there. But yeah, that is a tough one for her. And again, why are you letting an 18-year-old take that crucial penalty when there are more experienced players on the pitch? Well, that will be the Swedish post-mortem for the next few days, I'm sure.
Maybe we'll get a pizza ad out of it in Sweden.
Hi, Sean, or anyone in the studio?
Yeah.
Now, most of us, I didn't hear that was very interesting.
It's Chris Hollings. He's coming up next.
Yes.
Hello, Chris. Oh, won't be a second, Chris. We'll be in a second.
Sort of praying that it doesn't go to a penalty shootout finally, Ben. But do you sort of, with your love of penalties, you think, oh, I hope it's a shootout?
Everyone does, don't they? I mean, I do, especially because I'm, you know, looking at all these things, and in some cases have helped some of the teams get along with it. But who doesn't like a penalty shootout? And even you like one sometimes if Chelsea aren't involved.
Yeah, that's right. You don't want your skin in the game. Good to talk to you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
The book is still available, isn't it? I take it. I mean, I've always felt. Well, we had talk yesterday of fairly fundamental changes to the penalty laws, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's you get one strike if it hits the post or it comes off the keeper. The ball is dead. How are you feeling about that? Finally,
yeah, not that happy about that. Still coming to terms with it. But just to say, you know, I really appreciate your support for the book. And England have won 6 of the last 7 shootouts since it came out. So we all do our little bit, don't we?
Yeah,
no, it's true.
It's a great read.
It is the definitive book.
Good to talk to you, Ben. All the best.
Thanks, guys.
You can pick up 12 yards as I said at Amazon and elsewhere, but it's a good read. It's really kind of pulls it all together.
Yeah,
it is a fascinating subject.
Good book.
Should we hear from Serena Wiegmann very quickly? Should we do that? I think we can. She spoke to talkSPORT after reaching the semi-finals, and it said it was pretty stressful.
I've been involved now with England with three penalty shootouts, and we were brilliant at those. And today we weren't that brilliant, but Sweden was not brilliant either. I thought we were out 3 times, but then they missed 2, and then we scored it at the end. And crazy. But I must say also that one save that Hannah had was incredible.
There we are, Serena Wiegmann, and we got Spain-Switzerland for you tonight on talkSPORT 2 from 8 o'clock. And, of course, we'll bring you the England-Italy Euro 2025. I did a 2012 then. That's good. I've joined the list of people who've been doing that in Clips of the Week. A 2025 semi-final on Tuesday, England-Italy, live on talkSPORT. But we are, as you probably got a preview there, going to have a chat with Chris Hollins and James Nesbitt up at Royal Portrush in a few moments' time.
Sarina Wiegman admits she thought England were going to be packing their bags at least 3 times during their Euros clash with Sweden. The Lionesses came back from 2-0 to then beat the Swedes in a dramatic penalty shootout. Chloe Kelly was instrumental in the comeback after she was brought on as a sub and played a huge role in both goals.
I can't lie, it was mad, but it just shows what we're capable of as a team. We get over the line no matter what we face. Hannah was unbelievable, but belief in our squads, belief in our staff, and we got the job done.
Remember, England versus Italy will be live on talkSPORT. Liverpool are closing in on Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike in a deal that looks to be around 70 million. He's already agreed personal terms with the Premier League champions over a 6-year contract. It's a blow to Newcastle, who were interested in him first. So what's the deal with this striker? Here's German football broadcaster Konstantin Eckner.
Bit of a lanky striker, 6'2", roughly that, but actually quite a good technician, and also someone who can dribble, can come from outside the box. Also something else which probably is highly valued by Arne Slot. He's a great pressing player.
And don't forget to tune into talkSPORT 2 throughout the day for your day 2 coverage of the Open.
Now, Coldplay are back at Wembley this summer, and we've got a huge VIP prize up for grabs for one lucky listener. We're giving you the chance to win 6 tickets in a private box for you and your mates on August the 22nd with full hospitality. Plus, we're chucking in 10 grand spending money, completely tax-free. Wow. Here's how to enter.
10 grand?
Yeah.
For a chance to win, text the word WIN to 83338 by 4th of August at 11 p.m. and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission or post your name and number to Oasis. No, it's not Oasis.
Yeah, I think it's Coldplay. Yeah.
Oh, nothing like cutting and pasting, is there?
Yeah.
Coldplay prize draw. PO Box 3190, Colchester CO2 HEP. To arrive by 5 p.m. on the 7th of August, 18 plus UK, excluding Northern Ireland. This is a TalkSPORT limited promotion run on TalkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full T's and C's at
Thank you very much, Andy. Nice fade at the end. Let's head back and roll Port Rush, shall we? The crowds have descended on the course. I mean, I looked at some of the pictures yesterday. I mean, maybe that fed into some of the slow play, but that is letting some of the players off the hook. Maybe something we'll touch on now with 2 guys who love their golf. There's TV presenter Chris Hollins and actor, Manchester United fan James Nesbitt. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Yes. I'll take it you're both, Jimmy, I'll take it you're both having a good time up there.
Well, I've just seen that Brian Harmon's at the top of the leaderboard. That'll be a very popular winner in Port Rush. No, but we're having fun, man. Yeah.
And Chris, I really do enjoy your program, Golf's Greatest Holes. I've called it a few times on Sky, and you've done Port Rush as well, haven't you?
Yeah, so we did the first series we made was in Ireland and Northern Ireland, the island of Ireland. And then, obviously, last September, we thought, why don't we do the whole thing about Royal Port Rush? And I got old Jimmy Nesbitt to come and join me and show me around. And I mean, I don't know whether you've been down to this part of the world, but it is absolutely stunning. Great place to play golf and a great place to have a glass of the dark stuff.
I was there about 18 months ago. My friend lives in Donegal, and we took a drive up, Giant's Causeway in Dunluce, and a night at the Harbour Bar in Portrush.
The Harbour Bar? I'm not familiar with it.
It sounds like you had breakfast there, Jimmy, by the sound of it.
No, it is. But as Chris was saying, I'm a 60-year-old man who's proud to call this place my home. I mean, my mother always used to say, James, you'll eventually go back to the sea, and I came back to the sea, and I live here.
Wow, lovely.
It's sensational, and I cannot even begin to tell you how beautiful it is today.
Sun's out, isn't it?
Yeah, the sun's out, and we're looking over the Third, and we're looking into the Skerries, into the Atlantic, onto the island of Isle. It's great, and Brian Harman is leading.
I mean, in all seriousness, Jimmy, there was a time when you couldn't even contemplate having the Open in Northern Ireland. And so it's special, isn't it? It's special for people.
No, but that's quite an astute question, because that actually, as I grew up in a time when people didn't want to come to Northern Ireland, and for understandable reasons. And then, but as a child, I couldn't quite understand it. And now people want to come here, and it's like, it's the opposite of when you say, oh, we want this place to be a secret. We're the opposite of that. We want the world to come, we want the world to see it. And it's brilliant. And it's just, it's not only about golf. Golf is a kind of a glue to other things. It's to the North Coast, it's to the sea, it's to the Harbour Bar, it's to understanding what this place is about.
Yeah, you didn't see him in his Speedos this morning swimming in the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
You did. Yeah, he did. Just before he woke up, he did.
Yeah. It's a lovely, if you can use Belfast as a spot. We had a couple of days in the city and really enjoyed it. Had some good nights out. And just, it's a lovely city to walk around. There's plenty of history there. And then you can get down the coast if you're maybe hiring a car or whatever and go down to the causeway and everything and take in the sights. It's very pretty down there.
Yeah, it all seems to be about an hour away, isn't it? 45 minutes an hour away. Yeah, it's just down the road.
That's why it's why there's so much filming here. Game of Thrones was made here. Biggest show in the world was made here because the sea is there, the studio is there, the urban city is there, the mountains are there. Everything is accessible. But also there's just an appetite for, and that can only happen really from a place that has had conflict.
Yeah.
There's an appetite for progress, and people are hungry for it, and it's magnificent.
Yeah, I also Dunluce Castle is a place that we took it, and it was cracking the flames while we were lucky. And I'm just looking back on some old pictures. That's a good trip. People should take that in as well, because just all along that coastline, driving along
the Northampton coast is sensational.
Yeah.
Bushvilles, Port Ballantrae, Portrush, Portsturt.
What was that place we went to? The Crab Shack place. What is it?
Harry Shack.
Now that is a place to spend an afternoon, boys.
Where's that?
Harry Shack and Portsturt. I was there last night.
Yeah, a glass of wine or two.
Jimmy Dolan, I call him. He's actually Jimmy Dolan.
Name drop.
But also, but ultimately, everyone will always end up in the Moor by the harbour in Portrush.
Yeah.
It's a place where, tales are told and people have fun.
Yeah, no, it's a great spot. So, Chris, maybe we should talk a bit of Chelsea. Of course, your late dad was a Chelsea and an Arsenal player, fine player, and a regular guest on this show over the years.
One of my heroes.
Yeah, although he went to Arsenal, you stayed a Chelsea fan, didn't you?
Well, it's difficult because my only claim to fame in life is I was one of the first mascot for Arsenal. And I'm not talking about the dinosaur, but the first little lad that ran on. But yeah, look, I go to all Chelsea home games now. So there's I started going with my dad when he was an ambassador, and then I've kept going. It's a bit weird because I still keep thinking I'm going to see him come around the corner, chirping away.
What's the stat you told me about your dad?
Well, apparently, my dad, in the all-time appearances in the top division, so obviously not the Premier League in his day, but in the first division, the top division, I think he's second all-time.
After goalkeeper?
After goalkeeper Peter Shilton. And then there's Ray Clements after him. But you have to look that up. But yeah, so I still go down there. So good to see him win the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that one.
No.
I always say it was a nothing cup until we won it, and then it's everything.
No, exactly. I always knock awards until I've ever won one. I go, do you know what? It does mean something, actually.
Hey, Jimmy, what about United?
Manchester United, Jimmy, at the moment. Wow.
Oh, don't ruin the day.
I think we're far away from where we need to be. I mean, you know, there's so much I could say about it and so much I can't say about it. But I think as a fan, just for the thing, what is going on? You know, I think it's difficult. I mean, I'm lucky to, you know, I went through as a child. United didn't win the title until I was 25.
Yeah.
And then won a lot of titles. And now it's a period of confusion, I think. And I think some people are making very, very bad decisions. But, you know,
you need something desperate to hold on. Whether it's you need a player, whether it's the manager.
And Bumo's done now, boys. They've reached agreement. They've agreed.
He's going.
I know that, but it goes. I mean, what I'm talking about, it goes a wee bit deeper.
Oh yeah, no, it does.
Like when you're looking at what is happening to the club.
No,
you know,
absolutely.
And when you look at what Sir Alex did when he came in and he survived and he did everything he did. And there's a wee bit of me that thinks Sir Alex looks at it and goes, told you it wasn't easy, you know. And there's just so many decisions being made. It's like in so many aspects of our life, that decisions are made by people that maybe don't know how to make those decisions.
No, I think that is pretty evident. So, gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your day. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And with the word is, get yourselves over to that part of the world, whether the golf's on or not, and you'll have a good time.
Come to Northern Ireland. You'll not.
Yeah. No, it is. All the best, Chris. Thank you, Jimmy. Thanks very much.
Guys. Nice to speak to you.
Take care. It is a lovely. Yeah, I will vouch for that lovely part of the world.
Yeah,
really enjoyed my time there. Belfast. You've not been to Belfast?
I've been to Belfast.
Yeah, you've been.
And Enniskillen.
Oh, right, okay. Yes, it's a really, really good
when
city.
I went to Northern Ireland, it was very different.
Oh, okay. You were working out there, weren't you?
Working out there. We went 7 days after the bomb in Enniskillen.
Wow.
It was really... And driving through the forest and having to sort of like duck down was a really frightening time. So obviously a lot better now.
Very, very different times. And yeah, as Jimmy was saying, you know, there was a time when you couldn't even contemplate the idea of the Open being in Northern Ireland, and it's great that it is. And it has been more than once, of course. So I think we're going to get one of our updates now. Is Rupert going to join us or after the break? Okay, we'll catch up with Rupert and find out what's happening. Brian Harmon's in the lead, as you can imagine, not Rory McIlroy, as Jimmy would ideally like. It's Sport Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. You can get thousands of products delivered to you with Fast Track on Toolstation via the Toolstation app. Next stop, Toolstation.
Nearly 2 years ago, the controversy surrounded, was it a low blow, wasn't it a low blow?
I'm sure we'll see it again, but the crowd are booing as soon as it landed. You can see the pain on
what I want, and now we're getting it in the big show, and yeah, gonna put it right.
Gets Dubois going, and now Dubois coming back.
Let's check in once again at the Open at Royal Portrush with Arnold Clark.
The Open Update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal, all with a few clicks.
Rupert Bell joins us. Have you been popping into Portrush in the evenings for a small glass?
Not too much. A bit of Coleraine action, a bit of Portrush action. I know Kasabian. I think we might have an invite to see Kasabian.
That'd be good.
Well, I'm not too familiar with their work, but I think the young members of our team might be dragging the old git along to to educate him on the modern ways of pop music. So maybe it's a bit of that tonight, and I think we have a nice place down by the Harbour Bar tomorrow booked. So I'm going. And it's a lovely day today, and I think we've got a Chinese planned for Sunday night by the river by the Ban River, I think it is, in the middle of Coleraine.
What a social whirl.
Well, it's just unbelievable. You know, I don't just need Lizzie Kelly anymore.
No,
I've got other people to lead me astray. So,
any fear of you doing some work?
Well, try to. I've just spent half an hour in the company of James Nesbitt, so I might need to be careful. But anyway, lovely to meet him on home soil. But on the golfing front, which is presumably why I'm here, the 2023 champion Brian Harman's having a great day. 5 under for his round. He's got 3 holes to play. He's got to Calamity Corner, which is the 16th. But he doesn't look like he's having any sort of calamity today. He's really going well. Harris English has got to 6 under. Tyrrell Hatton sadly has just dropped a shot to get back to 5 under. Good finish from the young Dane, Rasmus Højgaard, who could make Luke Donald's Ryder Cup team. Well, he's finished strongly with a birdie at 18 to finish on 5 under par. Rory McIlroy still becalmed at a level par for his round through 10 holes. Just not happening for him in these benign conditions. But I can tell you, amongst the afternoon starters, is Rasmus Højgaard's twin brother Nicola, who did make the Ryder Cup team last time, and he's at 3 under par. So a bit of a brotherly story developing here with both of them currently in the top 10 at the Open. So one to keep an eye out how they carry on. And Bob McIntyre, he's also just moved to 5 under with a birdie at 13. So the Scot right in the mix as well. So a fascinating afternoon in prospect. Scotty Scheffler amongst the afternoon starters as well. So with these conditions, plenty of birdies available for the players.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rupert. Back to Rupert a little bit later on.
You see Scotty Scheffler saying, perhaps I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of grief about it.
Look, it was in the moment. He's a very spiritual bloke. You've got to cut in some slack, really. That's probably the way he was feeling on the eve of a big tournament. Yeah. But anyway, we move on. And we move on to the Lions. 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, our coverage begins live and exclusive commentary of the Lions versus the Wallabies. Joining us now to look at that, a proud Scot when we look at an all-Scottish midfield, of course. It is the former Scotland lock, and that's Jim Hamilton. Hi, Jim.
Hey, how you doing, fellas? You okay? Thanks for having me on.
No, it's a pleasure. Yeah. Huey Pilotu, as they're being dubbed.
Sounds about as Scottish as my accent, doesn't it?
It does, really.
Yeah, no, they've been informed. They're good players, world-class players, so it's cool to see that Andy Farrell's gone for the right picks.
Because there was always that thing of thinking he knows the Irish boys better. Look, there's Irish representation, of course, but, you know, he's picked on form, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has done, yeah. I mean, the whole selection's been, I would say, safe and a lot of people will argue that maybe not form from the tour specifically. I think Sione, Tuipulotu and Hugh Jones specifically, them two, because you've mentioned them, have been picked on their kind of four-man combination. But there's been a bit of uproar around some of Andy Farrell's selections. But if you were to kind of break it down and not look at these warm-up games, which sounds ridiculous, but let's be fair, the opposition's been pretty poor across the board. He has gone for form and he's gone for players that he trusts.
Are you surprised, Jim, that Australia aren't better prepared? They've played one game. You know, they do seem a bit undercooked.
Yeah, I am a little bit surprised, to be fair. And that one game was against Fiji, which was always going to be tough opposition. They won that game with a minute to go, with a pick and go try. So I do feel they are slightly undercooked. I mean, there's a lot of pressure for this Australia team to deliver as well. Like we're talking from a Lions perspective, right? But Australia rugby union's under a lot of pressure in that country. Joe Smith's done a fantastic job to kind of turn that ship around to get them to a position where not only are they competitive across the board now, but they are a really good team. But they're struggling with some big injuries as well. They've just lost their fly half, and they're down to this young lad Tom Liner, who's son of the famous Michael Liner as well. But it's really interesting to see how this Australia team do, because when you look at this British and Irish Lions team, they are a world-class outfit. And yes, they haven't been great over the warm-up games, but when you look at Australia, they've had one run-in against Fiji, but they're a proud rugby nation. They're at home. They understand the importance of this tournament, especially going into the World Cup in 2 years to try and turn rugby union round in their country.
Yeah, and that's important, isn't it? There's been this talk about, the Lions, unless they can go there and get good competition in the warm-up games and get good competition in the tests, and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we could get gubbed tomorrow. We hope not. But, if the Lions play to their utmost and they win these tests, people will start to say, well, why don't the Lions go elsewhere on tour? Why do they go to Australia? We'll have to come up with another place, another part of the tour.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, it's tradition, right? And rugby, we know, is deep rooted in its tradition and heritage. And there's conversations around why not bring a France team, who, as we know, are a brilliant outfit as well, and a well-supported team over there, commercially very viable. Argentina was thrown into the mix as well, and maybe that's kind of been kiboshed now after England have gone there with a second-string team and won a series over there as well. But look, Australia comes around every 12 years. You think about how competitive they were there. You think about the World Cup spy. You think about 2003, the final. So there's history there. But when you look at the quality of the Australia team compared to South Africa, which was the tour 4 years ago during COVID, where we saw the Lions lose, and the one where they drew in New Zealand in 2017, the quality of opposition that the Lions were up against. And I know that you said there's a chance we could get gubbed and we don't want to go overboard. When you look at the two teams on paper, this British and Irish Lions team are significantly better, without downplaying and without sounding too harsh. But look, it's rugby union, it's a contact sport. The Lions are away from home. You throw in the referee in to stuff like that. You throw in a few injuries like the Australia have had. But I think it's still going to be brilliant. I think it's going to be a really, really good series.
We were mentioning when the team was announced, was Henry Pollock a little bit unlucky not to make the bench? I mean, he's a wild card. He's a wind-up as well. I mean, he does play a bit off the cuff, but to give him sort of 10, 15 minutes and he gets in their faces, his box office. But I'm sure Andy Farrell's not picking on that basis.
Yeah, well, look, his name keeps coming up when I've been on the show as well, and casual fans. I'm in the US, and someone was talking to me about Henry Pollock. How cool is that? A 20-year-old lad come out of nowhere, really, as a 19, 20-year-old lad has delivered every time he's put on any jersey, whether that be Northampton, England, and now the British and Irish Lions. He's been box office. So forget the kind of circus and the media that follows him. That's important. That's great for our game. I absolutely love that part of it. But he's a brilliant player. Every game that he's played for the British and Irish Lions, I thought he would have put him on the bench. But when you look at the selections, when you listen to the experts, when you know people that know Andy Farrell and know the coaching team, and I know a few players, a few guys on the coaching team that I've played with, ex-players, he's gone for what he knows, especially in this first test. Jack Morgan at 7 was another one that the Welsh fans and casual fans as well are not happy about, because he has been one of the form players on tour. And Henry Pollock is in a tough position because that back row is the toughest position for Andy Farrell to pick. But he's gone for proven performers, proven warriors. And I reckon we will see Henry Pollock feature in one of the test matches for sure.
It sounds like you think finally the Lions are going to win, Jim. So by what kind of margin are you are you suggesting?
Look, at the beginning of the tour, I thought it would be a lot closer than when I've seen the teams released. I think the Lions win this first test, and I think they win it comfortably. And I think the second test becomes more uncomfortable for them, the game in Melbourne with the 100-odd thousand Australian fans. But I think, it just goes back to your point at the beginning of the show, I think the Australian team are a little bit undercooked, whereas I think everything is falling into place for this British and Irish Lions team, and they're a quality outfit. So I think it's going to be a comfortable win for them in Test 1.
Nice one, Jim. Thanks very much. Give our best to Andy on the pod next time you chat to him.
I will do. Thanks very much for having me, lads. Well done.
There's Jim Hamilton there. Him and Andy Good bring you the Rugby pod, which is we saw Andy in a preview show, didn't we? Our Lions launch show.
Oh yeah.
Hot up on the roof. Anyway, we're going to be bringing you our coverage from 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll keep, of course, reacting to all the games, and it's live commentary from 11 with Andrew McKenna and World Cup winner and former line Ben Kay, and our top team out there in Oz. We'll have all the reaction straight after the game, get reaction from you as well. But talkSPORT, 10 o'clock tomorrow, all the build-up to the first Lions game. We've got all sorts of stuff lined up for you tomorrow. Eddie Jones, Rocky Clark, Anthony Watson, Matt Gitto, of course, on the Aussie front. And you can hear it all from 10. It's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Lots more to come over the next... Top Macklin's a bit earlier this week. We'll tell you more about that shortly. Stan Collymore will be joining us. Villa's kit was launched today. We'll get his take on that amongst the other big stories of the week.
Very traditional.
It's nice. It doesn't look... I mean, Villa fans will know in detail. It doesn't look a lot different from me, but, it's classic. It's a classic. They haven't messed with it, which is a good thing. And Josh Rock from the World of Darts joining us. He's up at the World Match Play, which we're bringing you over on the Darts YouTube channel this weekend. But the sports headlines are next.
Admits she thought England were going to be packing their bags at least 3 times during their Euros clash with Sweden. The Lionesses came back from 2-0 to then beat the Swedes in a dramatic penalty shootout. Chloe Kelly was instrumental in the comeback after she was brought on as a sub and played a huge role in both goals.
I can't lie, it was mad, but it just shows what we're capable of as a team. We get over the line no matter what we face. Hannah was unbelievable, but belief in our squads, belief in our staff, and we got the job done.
England will now face Italy in the semi-finals on Tuesday, but former Lioness Tash Dowie is worried about their consistency in this tournament.
How can you have performances like against the French, but then turn it on against the Dutch and the Wales, but then have a performance like you've had for 75 minutes, last night against Sweden? I think that's a frustrating thing, and actually for a lot of nations, probably coming up against England right now, a really tough thing to plan. What England are you coming up against?
Remember, England versus Italy will be live on talkSPORT. Liverpool are closing in on Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike in a deal that looks to be around 70 million. He's already agreed personal terms with the Premier League champions over a 6-year contract. It's a blow to Newcastle, who were interested in him first. So what's the deal with this striker? Here's German football broadcaster Konstantin Eckner.
Bit of a lanky striker, 6'2", roughly that, but actually quite a good technician, and also someone who can dribble, can come from outside the box. Also something else which probably is highly valued by Arne Slot. He's a great pressing player.
For all the latest transfer news, head to our live blog at talksport.com. Man United's new £50 million training ground is getting its own barbers and a new swimming pool. It's expected to open next month. I guess the team can thank Cristiano Ronaldo after he moaned about the facility so much when he returned in 2021. And don't forget to tune into talkSPORT 2 throughout the day for your Day 2 coverage of the Open.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT with you through until 4 o'clock. We're coming up in the second hour of the show, and earlier helping of Todd Macklin.
Yes.
He's joined us at 2:15 today. Yes. Plenty of ground to cover with him, as always, including top baseball stars writing kids' books. Stan Collymore joins us to look at some of the big stories of the week. And Josh Rock from the World of Darts. He's up in Blackpool for the World Match Play, as are we, which we're bringing you up on the Darts YouTube channel. And Josh is, we're going to talk about this prospect of a Ryder Cup of darts, which was has been suggested by Nathan Aspinall. Later on, Zane Scotland joins us, the English tour golfer, and he had a memorable Open back in the day as an amateur. And we're going to look at how the amateurs are faring so far, those qualifiers at the Open, Portrush. Jordan Nobbs will join us to reflect on the Lionesses. She's just joined Newcastle as Jordan, a former England player, and indeed used to play for Sunderland. So she's crossed the Rubicon. Not many do that. And we'll be up at the weigh-in after the clips of the week with Spencer Oliver and Gareth A. Davis, because we bring you Usyk Dubois 2 tomorrow evening, part of a massive weekend of sport here on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. In the meantime, Andy.
In the meantime, you mentioned the World Cup of Darts there.
Oh, yeah.
One person who probably won't be watching it is EBG, who wrote to the Star.
EBG?
I don't know who he is. He wrote to the Star.
Has he got the EBGBs?
He said he probably. Why have Sky Sports got the monopoly of the darts?
Yeah.
I will never pay to watch it. I love the darts, but not enough to pay for it.
Oh, okay. We don't love it that much, then, do you?
No, not really.
Okay.
And how much of it have you seen if you don't watching it on Sky?
Yeah.
The old fan of the old BDO, or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's right. He used to love a bit of that Frimley green.
I brought you Gwyneth Paltrow's smoothie to start with. I thought
it had some lovely ingredients in it. Yeah,
and it reminded
including Cillian Husk.
Cillian had any news of him?
Who used to present arts programmes on BBC 4. And took us behind the scenes, didn't he? The Royal Academy exhibition. So, yeah.
And it reminded me of this woman that was Gwyneth's mate. We had a bit of fun with Amanda Chantel Bacon.
Amanda Chantel Bacon. For a woman who wouldn't be seen dead anywhere near a slice of bacon, it was quite a good name, wasn't it?
Well, you say that, but listen to Amanda talking about green.
Is she? Oh,
green
really?
Juice.
So Amanda's, she's not. I thought she's not sort of shunned everything she was into before.
Well, I don't know.
She's eating sort of.
She says green juice changed my life.
Oh, okay.
You can have one green juice a day and keep drinking caffeine, keep smoking cigarettes.
Wow.
Keep eating hamburgers. It's been good for Alan at Cheltenham. Like one pint of Guinness, one glass of green juice.
One green juice, one Guinness. Well, I think he calls Guinness green juice.
She says, I kind of feel like 2 green juices a day, she says.
Yeah.
She's
still out there, is she?
She's still out there.
Fantastic. Good to hear.
Tremendous.
Dogs watching the telly. Boffins in the States have decided that dogs like watching sport on the telly, especially tennis. And they're trying to catch the tennis balls. And I've got a 12-year-old Labrador who is not fussed by the telly. He doesn't really... The only time, as I said earlier on, watch some skiing on, suddenly the dog went mad. It was the combination of the kind of bright white background and somebody looked like they were skiing into our living room, slightly freaked her out. Her dog's watching the telly. It's a Broad Church, we understand. My dog Archie, named after Archie Gray, problem was he left to go to Spurs 3 weeks later. What, the dog or Archie Gray? He barks like mad every time Manchester United are on the telly.
Oh.
You've trained him to do that, haven't you? Of course, Ringo. Ringo's definitely done that. And he said we have to put him in the kitchen when Manchester United are on. So there he is. That's Ringo, the idle mechanic.
You see, United topped this dubious league table that Martin Lipton was writing about. Basically, sort of number of unruly fans and drug use. Manchester United were at the top of the list.
Wow, okay.
It's no great surprise, is it, really, with the sort of season they had, I suppose, but still, no.
Oh, okay. I think you're cutting them a fair bit of slack there.
Probably, yeah.
Our Coco is in love with Ted from, Gone Fishing with
of course,
Paul Whitehouse and Bob Mortimer. If she's been a bit of a pain, the dog, we put it on. She just jumps on the sofa and watches Ted with his underbite. Fantastic.
Underbite is tremendous.
That's Lee the Gooner. It's the producer's dog, isn't it? Paul told us when he came.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, producer's dog. And the dog was coming along to all the shoots. And they both thought, Paul and Bob thought, let's kind of feature him in the show.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's built his pie. He's had his own book out, hasn't he? Thank you, Lee the Gooner. My dog used to run out of the room chasing every shot when I watched the golf. Poor old boy was shattered by the end of the afternoon. So if you're chasing every golf ball that gets hit in the open, this is from, we have a dog de Bordeaux. She ignores TV unless we put on Turner and Hooch. When she watches the bit when he's wrecking the house, we say to her, naughty Hooch. It's the same breed, isn't it, of course, in the film. Haven't put your name on that. Got woken in the early hours to the noise of my dog Coco enjoying Nazi megastructures.
Really?
Says Mike from... Oh, that's quite quirky, isn't it? Dog won't watch only watches Nazi megastructures for some reason.
What a tremendous programme that must be.
It actually is quite fascinating, but that's not the point. Obviously, really, the dog's it is. Mike from Southampton. That's not the dog's name, obviously.
Obviously.
What's the name of your dog? It's Mike from Southampton. Yeah.
There's a lot of chat about Mary Earps not being at the tournament and Hannah Hampton being so brilliant and the pressure she was under. But news of Mary, she was at the dinner for Emmanuel Macron at the Palace.
Oh, was she really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
It's Mary Earps, brackets, professional footballer, Paris Saint-Germain.
Right.
Close brackets.
Nice.
So there you go. So not too bad, really.
She wasn't along there. I'm trying to find the name of the Australian squad to play the Lions because there was a name in there that struck me as quite canine. We'll come on to that in a moment. Have we had any more of these? Steve Liberace board, says Chris from Canterbury. I think you needed to be listening.
Probably a bit earlier.
You needed to be listening in the last hour, really, to get that one right, didn't you? So, talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089 or tweet to TSH&J, that's TSH&ANDJ. Along with this massive weekend of sport we've got for you, it does include, of course, the boxing.
Big fight preview on talkSPORT with DAZN. Watch Usyk versus Dubois on the 19th of July, live only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Yeah, last Saturday, talkSPORT hosted a fight night special looking ahead to this weekend's massive fight as Usyk takes on Dubois again. Adam Cattrall and Gareth A. Davis were in the studio and discussed how they thought the fight would go down. Take another listen. And it's that fight night special, of course, we're referring to, with DAZN.
Whispers around the industry and on the street, the man in the street, the woman in the street is starting to say, is Daniel going to be our new hero next Saturday night? He's got great self-belief. He's a very powerful puncher. One punch, one attack can change anything in the heavyweight division. So it's all to play for. We'll be there all week. We're building it up. It's going to be very, very exciting. These are the weeks we live for, let alone the fighters.
Indeed,
true, yeah.
Indeed, well said. When was the last time Gareth was in the street? He goes from his car, he's chauffeur driven to away, and then he gets back in his car and goes over
in the
again.
street just wearing a waistcoat like he was in that
The woman
clip.
in the street. Listen again to the full Fight Night special on the talkSPORT app, and don't miss a moment of the action this Saturday. Watch Usyk versus Dubois 2 live only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing, and also listen to the fight on talkSPORT with coverage underway at 6 p.m.
Big fight preview on talkSPORT with DAZN. Watch Usyk versus Dubois on the 19th of July, live only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
Yeah, Dogs Watching Telly. I found the name I was talking about. One of the Aussie players, their back row playing for Australia against the Lions tomorrow is Nicholas Champion de Crepney. That must be his kennel name. Surely he's known as Rover. Yeah. And here he comes, trotting round the ring with his owner, Keith. It is Nicholas Champion de Crepney, known as Bob in the family. 3 years old. What a lovely coat. Anyway, sorry.
Trained by Cilium Husk.
Cilium, part of the Cilium Husk. Sorry, you had to be here an hour ago, I'm afraid. Oh. A little bit of a whisper from our own Alex Crook, our chief football correspondent.
I like Alex Crook whisper.
Yeah, like we all have one of them, don't we? TalkSPORT, we understand that Tottenham have registered an interest in the Bournemouth defender, Ilian Zabani. I like him. He's
very good player.
Yeah.
Spurs. I thought PSG or one of those were after him.
Well, he's got the choice of PSG or Spurs. Maybe he'll decide based on the Super Cup result. Well, the way they played against you, I don't mind that, but you may have just made them angry. So, yeah, Zabani's a good player. They say Bournemouth not under pressure to sell. Well, they're not, are they? Although, who has gone from the team? They haven't really lost any of the crown jewels. Semenyo signed a new contract. Everybody's still there. There's all this talk about Clivert. That's gone quiet.
That's true.
They haven't really. I mean, there's always, we've seen Brentford sell a few. But
Brighton, I mean, I saw Estepinian linked with another club. I was thinking, surely you don't want to get rid of him. He's really good. The trouble with clubs like Brentford and Brighton are so brilliant at bringing in players and turning players over and making money. They're brilliant at it. But I do feel there's a sort of point where you run out of players to sell, and it actually starts to affect the team. And you wonder.
I mean, as I said, when we spoke to Billy the Bean there, he trusts the management there, he trusts their recruitment. I suppose when you're a supporter club like that have never let you down, when you can sell, sell a Basuma and then sign someone like Caicedo and then sell him for the sort of profit they sold him for. I mean,
and I'm sure Brentford will say to Visser, like they said to Tony, like they said to Mbumo, give us one more year, then you can go.
Yeah.
They'd never sell more than one in the window, I don't think.
I wouldn't think.
Well, they sold Norgard. But
Newcastle are in the market for Visser as well, aren't they, now? But we'll see what happens.
I love the fact that people say, he's worth 30 or 40 million. You think, he scored 16 goals. He's got to be worth a lot more than that.
He's 28. I mean,
yeah, I suppose so, but still, he's a very good player, and I'd rather have him than Hoyland for 72 million.
What are Brentford looking? Are they looking for 50, or are they looking for? There's some reports I'm looking for 40.
30 to 40, yeah, but I think he's worth more than that.
Well, it's all at. Thank you for Crookie for that one, Zabani from Bournemouth. Spurs trying to prize him away from there. We'll see. Dogs watching the telly, you can keep those coming. talksport.com/H&J. Text to 81089.
The Sultan's just text
TSH&J. Yes, they
are creating. He loves it.
He likes it. Yeah.
People like that.
Stan Collymore is going to be joining us for a bit of a chat. But are we off to the Open after the break? Okay. I'm never quite sure whether this side of the break or that side. Let's let the listeners in on the magic of radio, shall we? Yeah, Stan Collymore's coming up. Tom Macklin as well, a little bit earlier than usual. We're here with our very good friends at Tool Station. Get fast track delivery in as little as 30 minutes on the Tool Station app. Next up, Tool Station.
Nearly 2 years ago, the controversy surrounded, was it a low blow, wasn't it a low blow?
I'm sure we'll see it again, but the crowd are booing as soon as it landed. You could see the pain on Usyk.
This is what I want, and now we're getting it. The big show, and yeah, gonna put it right.
Gets Dubois going, and now Dubois coming back.
An hour earlier than usual. He's going to join us in a second. Plenty of ground to cover with him. But first, we head back to Royal Portrush, get an update on the Open with Arnold Clark.
The Open Update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Everything for your car, all in one place.
What's happening there, Rupert?
Well, Brian Harman's still out in front. He's got 2 holes to play, the 2023 champion from America, playing some impeccable golf in very benign conditions today. Plenty of birdie opportunities. He's 1 clear of Haotang Li, the Chinaman who finished at 4 under at the end of yesterday, but he's picked up a couple of shots to get to 6 under. Leader in the clubhouse is the Dane Rasmus Højgaard, because he carded a 68 and he's in the clubhouse at 5 under par. Out on the course on that mark, well, we've got Tyrrell Hatton, Bob McIntyre and Harris English. And I have to say, credit to Bryson DeChambeau, because he looked after his 79 yesterday as if he had no chance of making the weekend. But he's just put a stunning run together, and that has catapulted him to 2 over par, which should get him into the weekend, because he's had a run of 5 birdies, I think it is, in 6 holes to get to 2 over par, which is currently the cut-off point. As I say, the big afternoon starters include Scotty Scheffler. Matt Fitzpatrick is about to head to the first tee at 4 under. So it's an easy scoring day at present, and Bryson DeChambeau just may have played himself into the weekend. But Brian Harman may be playing himself to winning the Claret Jug for a second time. And you can hear how it all unfolds over on talkSPORT 2.
No, it's not 3:15, don't worry, you haven't lost an hour of your day. Todd Macklin joining us an hour earlier than usual. Good afternoon, Todd.
Hi, boys. Thanks for accommodating me. I appreciate it very much.
No problem at all. Now, Major League Baseball had their All-Star game this week, and there was a swing-off, an unprecedented swing-off. Maybe you can explain, Todd, why that was significant.
Yeah, I think I should explain a swing-off, right? Just to make sure people don't get the wrong idea. I think, listen, any sports with these all-star games, we've talked a lot about it over the years that, because they're only exhibition games, these all-star games, the effort isn't there, on a lot of fronts. Baseball is probably the closest to a real game, right? Because there's physicality and defense that should happen in the other sports all-star games that doesn't happen. So baseball kind of the closest. But baseball came up with this idea, which is if the game is tied at the end of 9 innings, instead of going to an extra inning, they were going to have a swing-off, which is kind of a mini home run derby, right? So the all-star kind of 2 days, they have the home run derby on the Monday and then the game on the Tuesday. So game nationally gets out to a 6-0 lead in the game. American League comes back to tie it in the bottom of the 9th at 6-6. So they go to the swing off. So it's 3 teams from each team. They each get 3 swings to see if they can hit a home run. So before the NL's second swinger, The American League was leading 3 home runs to 1 home run. And then Kyle Schwarber of the Philadelphia Phillies comes up. Remember, you only get 3 swings. He hit a home run in each of his 3 swings. The National League won the swing off 4-3, and then thus won the game itself. It's kind of like, a game tied and going to penalties.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
They've never done it before, so it's a new.
They have not.
It went down well. People liked it. They're going to keep it. You think?
I think so. Yeah, I think in that moment during the mini home run derby, people loved it, and especially to see a guy come up and only have 3 swings and hit a home run each time. Yeah, I think it was a pretty great finish to it, rather than just kind of another inning.
Yeah.
You used to get home advantage in like 4 home matches against 3 in the World Series if you won whichever league won it, but they don't do that anymore, do they? I don't think
they don't. They go by record. They just they took that element out of it. Which you're right, Andy. People were kind of worried when you kind of took that caveat out of it. But again, you go year by year, and this year was a success.
Just quickly staying with baseball, the Dodgers superstar Shohei Ohtani has revealed this week that he's written a children's book featuring his dog. We're doing a lot of dog material today. Decoy.
Yeah.
In his new book, Decoy Saves Opening Day. You think he'd be busy enough? He's just started pitching again after injury.
I wouldn't imagine he wrote a lot of it himself.
Well, he said he's co-written it. I don't know how much involved. I don't know if he's even read it. He may not have even read it. Who knows? Yeah.
I think we all realize when it says co-written what that means, right? With these celebrities and professional athletes. Listen, he's got the Midas touch. He's probably the biggest name in baseball. And again, because of his heritage being Japanese, he's just a global superstar rather than just in the U.S. Just basically whatever he's going to do is going to have some success to it. The book is going to come out in February.
Yeah.
I guess the good listen, a billionaire, a multi-millionaire making more money, like just what we needed, right? But he has talked about, I think he's indicated part of the profits will go to, dog rescue homes and those type of things that find permanent homes for dogs.
I'd like to think Decoy gets a few quid as well. Decoy will be lots of gold rings and a new car and everything. Yeah. Now, we're talking about the All-Star game. We've got the All-Star weekend in the WNBA, which has kicked off. And I was doing a bit of background on it. Glamour magazine have gone big on it because it's very glam. The girls were turning up yesterday for the event, and wow, some pretty swanky outfits. The orange carpet, they've called it, Todd, haven't they?
Yep.
Lots of pictures of the girls on the orange. But no, even though it's in Indiana, no Caitlin Clark, the superstar of the WNBA. She's picked up an injury. She can't play.
Yeah, she's going to be there, and she's coaching one of the teams, or she's going to have to coach. She was the captain. She picked her team for the All-Star game on Saturday night. You mentioned it's in Indianapolis. You got the face of the WNBA, and she can't be part of it, the 3-pointer competition or the game. It hurts it in that sense. But again, WNBA has never been more popular. So again, I think that's the focus, is just kind of the upswing in popularity in the league at the moment.
No, it's massive, isn't it? Some sad news emerged overnight. Brian Brayman, who won the Super Bowl, the linebacker with the Eagles, died. He was ages 38. He's got 2 young kids. He was diagnosed with a rare aggressive form of cancer just about 5 months ago, Todd. And I've seen a lot of tributes coming in from former teammates, and a number of them were helping him out with his hospital bills in the last few months. But yeah, sad story.
It is. And again, probably most fans don't recognize the name unless you're an Eagles fan. But again, one of those guys that you need on your team to have success, right? He was a special teams guy, wasn't a big star, but it is those guys that are called kind of glue guys that you need to have the ultimate success, and he did with the Eagles.
Yeah, and there was showed a bit of footage from the dressing room and getting all the guys going that's been played in the last 24 hours since the news emerged. So very sad. And finally, a kind of story about the life-changing aspect of a sports contract for young, I'm guessing, working class guys, not just in America, but all over the world when they're top athletes. This is the Oklahoma City Thunder NBA title winner, Jalen Williams. He's just signed a new contract. It's a 5-year, $287 million contract extension. And he talked about some of the things that it allowed him to do. Just watch this.
It's surreal. I know everybody kind of uses that term, but it's wild because it happened really fast. Like within the span of 3 years, my life is completely different. Completely. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. I've been able to, fortunate enough to like retire my parents.
Oh, that's beautiful, bro. Retiring your parents, that has to feel like one of the monumental achievements in any man's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was chatting to TMZ Sport. Yeah. But, you know, when you've got that kind of money, you can do it's a beautiful gesture, isn't it? Just to say to your folks, that's it. You haven't got to go to work anymore. You know, life's different now.
It's an incredible gesture. You're right. And probably, as they said, what a lot of athletes want to do because their parents have sacrificed so much very quickly. 6 years ago, he was not highly recruited out of high school, right? We talked a lot about the top names. Here's a guy, I think he was rated 230th going from high school to university. Wow. That was 6 years ago. And now he's an NBA champion. He's a multi-millionaire. And as he said, gets to retire his parents. That was just 6 years ago.
Wow.
Incredible how it's turned for him.
And his brothers also had just been recruited by an NBA team as well. So, yeah, what a story. Excellent. Thanks, Todd. We'll catch up with you next week.
See you, boys.
There we are. Todd Macklin, our man on American sports. Dan Collymore joins us next. We'll get his take on the new Villa kit that was launched today and other matters straight after the news headlines.
Serena Wiegmann admits she thought England were going to be packing their bags at least 3 times during their Euros clash with Sweden. The Lionesses came back from 2-0 to then beat the Swedes in a dramatic penalty shootout. Chloe Kelly was instrumental in the comeback after she was brought on as a sub and played a huge role in both goals.
I can't lie, it was mad, but it just shows what we're capable of as a team. We get over the line no matter what we face. Hannah was unbelievable, but belief in our squads, belief in our staff, and we got the job done.
Remember, England versus Italy will be live on talkSPORT. Liverpool are closing in on Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike in a deal that looks to be around 70 million. He's already agreed personal terms with the Premier League champions over a 6-year contract. It's a blow to Newcastle, who were interested in him first. So what's the deal with this striker? Here's German football broadcaster Konstantin Eckner.
Bit of a lanky striker, 6'2", roughly that, but actually quite a good technician, and also someone who can dribble, can come from outside the box. Also something else which probably is highly valued by Arne Slot. He's a great pressing player.
And don't forget to tune into talkSPORT 2 throughout the day for your day 2 coverage of the Open.
Hawksbee, Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Clips of the week in the final hour. But joining us now to talk all matters football with an eye on the striker market, Stan Collymore. Hi, Stan.
Paul, Andy, how you doing?
Not so bad. First off, you're in your Villa top today. You're in your Villa hoodie. New kit. Nice. I saw the new kits out today. What do you make of it?
I'm such a sucker. I'm a 54-year-old man buying Adidas Aston Villa hoodie. I've just got the hoodie. I've got the tracksuit bottoms on.
Look at that.
And I've got the sort of Adidas original zip up top. I mean, I'm just going to look like one of these kind of like dad blokes that goes out to game with their sort of white trainers on and their shorts and their pot belly and the merch. But I've got the tracksuit. I'm not getting the shirt, although having said that, there's a bit of a sort of argument at the moment about it's very samey amongst Villa fans that last season's shirt, apart from the trim on the collar, which is doffing its cap to our wonderful Holt end and the trim around the Holt end. Yeah. But the one thing that Villa might reel me in on is that we've done a long sleeve version.
Ooh.
Now, I always used to wear long sleeves, even in the early August and at the end of May. It was just a thing for me. I just always liked to wear long sleeve shirts when I played. Very rare to see any photos of me in a short sleeve shirt, but the Villa long sleeve shirt may reel me in. So watch this space.
Oh, okay. Must be weird wearing a replica shirt when you've worn the real one and played in it.
You know what? It's really strange because, like, I'm a big Villa fan and I'm a big England fan, and I've been lucky enough to sort of wear Villa shirt and wear a real England shirt, and I've got my debut shirt, which actually was England debut shirt, which was number 6 for some strange reason, which is iconic in England. So I wore my debut, I wore number 6 at Wembley, which is a bit bizarre. But it's no different. It's no different. I look down here, I've got my Villa tracksuit on, and it is absolutely no different. So if you're a supporter and you go out and you spend 120 notes on the replica shirt, as long as it's the sort of the vapor one, which kind of is the hugging official fit, or whether it's the kind of the stadium fit, it all feels the same. Trust me.
Good stuff.
I'm definitely stadium fit.
Yeah, and Andy's definitely stadium fit. Ekatike, Isak, Visso, and Burmo, they're all sort of players of a type, and they're all in demand, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I've done some real geekery as to find out when the value to fee ratio started to go down. I'll just give you a couple of numbers. Ollie Watkins cost Villa 28 million 5 years ago. Yeah. That was a club record for it. That's a bargain. He scored goals before he came. He scored goals since. Haaland's release clause was met by City, 51 million. Bargain. Guaranteed goals. Even John Duran, that's now at Fenerbahce via Saudi Arabia, he came into Villa at 15 million. But I'm looking at the market and the proposed market right now. Amari Hutchinson could go to Brentford if they lose Mbuemo and Visser in one window. Yeah. 35 million being talked about, 3 goals and 2 assists last season. That's at the very highest point in the market, I would suggest. Anthony Elanga goes into Forest, 15 million. Year or so later, 55 to Newcastle. Very, very top of the market. Igor Jesus, that's going to Nottingham Forest. He did okay in the Club World Cup for Botafogo, but he's coming from Brazil. And before that, I think he had 4 years in the Emirates League. 9 in 37, £10 million. So I've looked at the market for strikers and forwards, which has always been overheated, going right the way back to when, whether it be Forest bought me or whether it was a British record transfer, Liverpool bought me from Forest. It's always, strikers have always cost a premium.
Yeah.
Chelsea bought Liam Delap. You bought Solanke. Jury's out on him in terms of, was that at the top of the market? But I just do not see at the moment, and I'd imagine that Mbuemo may well be confirmed completely today, is that Mbuemo, who's my favourite Premier League player, Paul and Andy, 65 million plus 6 in add-ons. I'm not seeing the value in that. So the point I'm trying to make is that where has the value gone in the transfer market? And wherever you look, if it's Ekitike, £70 million, 15 in 33 last season for Frankfurt, I'm not seeing where the value is. And of course, clubs have to be extra careful now, because you buy 1 or 2 strikers and you bring a number 10 in, like Liverpool have done with Wirtz, and all of a sudden, 2 years down the line, you're skirting very close to the wind with PSR. So I'm just not seeing it. I'm trying desperately to look at where the value is in Elanga, Ekitike. Isak was rumoured earlier on in this week, 120 million, a British record fee. Is that where has all the value gone in the strikers market? I mean, I'll ask you both. Would you say Dom Solanke at the moment, Paul, was at the very top of his value, or there's really good value for growth there in the next few seasons?
Well, that'd be interesting.
He cost 65 million.
He did cost it. I mean, they did. Yeah, it was a lot of money. And I mean, he was a bit injury hit. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. I've got high hopes for him under Thomas Frank. And Thomas Frank, in his first chat about the team, talks about almost developing him, and I think getting him playing in a more advanced role. So I've got higher hopes for him. But I do take your point, Stan. It wasn't a bit of bargain business. You bought at the top of the market.
But you mentioned Mbuemo there, but I don't. You say the value. I don't see the football ambition in him to join United. I don't get this. I think it's a very strange move. He could have had a pick of a lot of clubs, but there you go. I suppose it's
completely agree. I think that don't underestimate the allure of Manchester United. Yeah. They can pay big money, 80,000 people watching if they get it right. But I would agree. I mean, I think even with Cunha and Mbuemo, I've had a look. I've done some sort of tentative. Well, where are my positional placings for the Premier League? Still loads of work in the market to be done. Manchester United aren't just going to catapult into the top 4 next season. Not a chance. There are so many progressive clubs now, Bournemouth, Brighton, Villa, Newcastle. That's without the traditional top 4, 5, 6. Is that the notion that those 2 players are going to come in, and again, both at the top of the value. I don't think that Manchester United could look at Cunha and could look at Mbuemo and say in December, January, February, that if they are lighting up the world, that, they'll have paid top dollar for them. But if they don't get the numbers that they did for Wolves and Brentford respectively, that's going to look like a hell of a lot of money. And if Manchester United, Paul and Andy, do not get into the Champions League sometime soon, in the next 2 or 3 seasons, they're going to be the next club that are going to have major PSR issues, for sure.
Finally, Stan, have you been surprised that there's not been a bit more movement in the market for Jack Grealish? There's a few reports today that Everton and West Ham are duking out, hoping to land him. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but George, do you think he could
loan written on it?
Well, it does feel like a late loan deal because of the wages and everything. But what's your take on that?
I look at Jack as a fellow Villa fan. I love him to bits. I like the kid. I like his family. At Villa, he was sensational, hence getting £100 million. If I'm the director of a recruitment as a football club, a Premier League football club, alas, I'm not going to touch him. The primary reason why is that he doesn't do what he says on the tin anymore. Get it on the left, drift past people, put the ball onto somebody's toe and put it in the back of the net. He just doesn't do that. It's why Jeremy Doku got in ahead of him, way ahead of time at Manchester City. There was so much nonsense on social media, people saying that Pep had coached the attacking verve that he had out of him. It's rubbish. For me, he looks bulkier. I don't know whether that's weight or he just doesn't look like the same player that's got the same lateral movement, the ability to check and turn quickly at Villa. And at Manchester City, you can pretty much guarantee he gets it on the left, level with the 18-yard box, and he checks back and passes it to somebody. There are much, much better value options out there, particularly in wide left and wide right positions that are younger, dare I say, hungrier, and more productive than Jack Grealish. So it would be a massive no from me. Hence the reason why teams probably down the bottom half of the Premier League, or he might get a tickle, his agent from Italy, Spain, Germany, clubs, or even, dare I say, now he's into his 30s, somewhere like Saudi or the USA. But top of the Premier League, I don't think he can do it anymore.
Interesting. Stan, thanks ever so much.
Stan.
We'll catch up with you next week.
Have a good chat. Sup the Villa.
There we are. Stan Collymore there. He's bought the club shop. He's gone all pewless on us.
Brilliant.
We're going to be chatting to Rupert Bell very shortly, but the talkSPORT dugout has had their sound. Usyk versus Dubois too.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. With 74% of the dugout predicting an Usyk win on Saturday night and 43% of them... Hang on, does that work?
No.
The maths work. We've got some don't knows in there, haven't we? 43% of them backing him to win on points. Okay, fair enough. I thought he was going to say going the other way. If you'd like to join the discussion on talkSPORT and join the dugout to have your say on football, boxing and more with thousands of other talkSPORT fans, just go to talksport.com/dugout. That's talksport.com/dugout. Fun prizes are given away every month. I think it's a night out with Andy Jacobs. No, it's not, although that would make for an interesting night out.
Terrible.
Certainly if you have a go at Chelsea in the first 5 minutes.
It's not like winning Oasis tickets, is it really?
And if you join now, you'll automatically be put into the next draw. So go to talksport.com/dugout.
Cash thing at $5,000 comes out of my own pocket.
Go to talksport.com/dugout. And I promise you, a night out with Andy is not the prize. It's better than that. And you can join over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. We'll check in on the goal very shortly. Then we're off to Blackpool. You're going to Blackpool, as they always say on Strictly.
Okay.
Because we've got the World Match Play up there. And Dance and the gang are going to be bringing you commentary on the talkSPORT Darts YouTube channel. And Josh Rott of Northern Ireland, World Cup winner. He's like you. He's a world champion, Andy. They won the World Cup recently. And he's going to be playing up there. So we'll have a chat with Josh and play his intro music and get the story behind it and contemplate a Ryder Cup of darts as requested by Nathan Aspinall. That's all to come. We're here with our good friends at Toolstation. Download the Toolstation app for fast track delivery on thousands of products. Next stop, Toolstation.
Nearly 2 years ago, the controversy surrounded, was it a low blow, wasn't it a low blow?
I'm sure we'll see it again, but the crowd are booing. As soon as it landed, you could see the pain on Usyk.
This is what I want, and now we're getting it. It's a big show, and yeah, gonna put it right.
Gets Dubois going, and now Dubois coming back.
Still to come this afternoon, we're going to bring you the clips of the week. We'll be at the weigh-in for Usyk Dubois 2 and chat to our team there, get some reaction. Jordan Nobbs joins us, a Newcastle midfielder these days, and former England midfielder, and we'll react to last night's thrilling and pretty nerve-wracking quarter-final against Sweden. And Zane Scotland joins us, the former tour golfer, to look at the Open so far. And we'll have an eye on the amateurs. He had a memorable 2016 when I think he was the youngest ever qualifier for the Open. And a lot of pressure on these qualifiers to go in there. And, you know, over the years, people have done well. We'll look at the situation they're in currently. But before all of that, we should head to the Open now. Maybe Rupert can give us a bit of insight into that. And with Arnold Clark.
The Open Update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Build your own car deal, all with a few clicks.
Rupert, we're going to have a chat with Zane later on, who, say, in 2016 set a bit of a record and did very well when he got to the Open. But are any of the qualifiers troubling the leaderboard?
Well, in terms of the amateurs, there were 9 that kicked off this week. It looks like there's only one going to make it through.
Right.
He's still got 6 holes to play, and that is Cameron Adam, who's from Scotland. And so it's not been easy for them, but Cameron Adam might just make it through. But it's such a different, you know, they come through qualifying, but it's such a different atmosphere and everything. Great expectation. But as I say, the Scottish amateur Cameron Adam might be the one to make it through of those. But at the business end, Brian Harman, well, I think he led by 5 shots at the halfway stage of the 2023 Open Championship. Well, at the moment, in the clubhouse, after a wonderful birdie at the 18th, he hit a fabulous iron shot, reminiscent of the way he played at Hoylake, backing it up with some excellent putting. Well, the left-hander is in the clubhouse at 8 under, 6 under for the day, a 65. He's 1 clear of Haotang Lee, who is just missed a birdie chance on 7 to get to 8 under, but he's going along very nicely at 3 under for his round. Rasmus Højgaard and Tyrrell Hatton are leaders in the clubhouse. Hatton just finishing at 5 under par. But elsewhere, Bryson DeChambeau is matching Harman in terms of one of the rounds of the day, because he's picked up 6 shots, a fabulous run of birdies on the back 9, and he's at 1 over par, and he's definitely, if he stays at that, coming down the 18th, playing himself into the weekend action with a cut-off at 2 over par. Someone like Brooks Koepka is in danger of missing the cut. But Matt Fitzpatrick amongst the afternoon starters. Great start from the Englishman. Birdie at the difficult first hole to get to 5 under. Very easy conditions compared to yesterday, so plenty of birdie opportunities for the afternoon starters, who include Scotty Scheffler.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rupert. Back to Rupert a little bit later on. As we said, we'll have a chat with Zane Scotland.
Because they always present the top amateur when they do that
that's
posh
right.
thing. It's no longer Martin Slumbers.
No.
He's retired.
Who's got the gig now? We can come back to it later.
I'll come back.
Anyway, because now it's time for this.
When you sing to me, my heart is jumping in the air. And if you tell me you're my guy, I will take you on this ride. Oh baby, tell me you.
Go on, be honest. Your head's nodding, isn't it? You can't help yourself. That is Josh Rock's walk-on music. And you'll hear that in the World Match Play. We're going to bring that to you on the
Josh got a shock there. He thought he was playing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He suddenly started walking around the room, shaking hands with people. He joins us now. Good afternoon, Josh.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on.
It's a pleasure. So that's an interesting choice of walk-on. Where did that come from?
It was a song I actually used before I became professional in Killarney. I just heard it on the radio one day and I just fell in love with it, and that's just how it came along.
I mean, it must get the crowd going. I mean, I'd see how he whips them up.
Yeah, it started obviously in my career when I wasn't as a big name as I am now. It really didn't get them going, but until you become more known and you get into the song, then that's when people start supporting you more.
That's true. If you're walking through a pub or a competition where there's about 10 people there, I doubt if they are having a dance in the aisles, but that's well, when you're playing at Ali Pali and places like Blackpool. So, we should congratulate you on the World Cup, of course. You're a World Cup winning team. You must have been really chuffed with that.
That was a very special moment for me and Darryl, especially because it's the first World Cup Northern Ireland's ever won in any sport.
Yeah.
And for me and him to be the first ones to put that on the map, it was a nice wee statement to have.
Sensational.
Yeah, it's a good weekend for Northern Ireland sport. I'm sure you're keeping an eye on what's going on at Port
I've been keeping an eye on the golf because it's only half an hour up the road from me, so when the golf is on.
Yeah, of course. You're not in Blackpool yet, I take it, because you don't play till Monday.
I'm actually travelling tonight to Blackpool.
Yeah. So would you have gone? I know you like your golf. Would you have gone along to Portrush had you not been working?
Yeah, I would have if the match play wasn't on this week. Yeah, but actually, funny enough, with me golf club sitting here in the living room because they're going to come with me to Blackpool.
Oh right, okay. Is that the way you kind of it helps you sort of switch off away from the darts?
No, this is the first time I've actually took my golf clubs away with me because usually I play a wee bit sometimes when I have spare time at home, but because I don't play the Monday night, I'm actually going out golfing tomorrow afternoon.
Any other decent golfers amongst the darts players?
Nathan's a very, very good golfer.
Oh, okay, is he?
Arsenal, I think he plays off a 6.
Oh, blimey!
Oh, wow.
He's
talking about Ryder Cup.
Bit of a natural sportsman. Isn't he? I think with his background and stuff. So
yeah, well, he played football and stuff.
Yeah.
So he does have a kind of natural background.
Nathan's come up with this idea. I was reading about it today. He said he'd quite like to see a Ryder Cup of darts. One or two of the listeners have said, we'd stuff America. That's not what he was talking about. He meant a kind of UK team.
In the rest of the world.
Versus the rest of the world, because he said, got the Germans, the Dutch, there's some very good players around the world. So, what do you think of that concept?
Maybe down for it, because I love watching the Ryder Cup and the golf. So, if they brought it in the darts, I'd love to play for the UK against, obviously, say the rest of the world, the Germany and Holland, so that'd be very interesting.
I think it would be competitive because MVG and stuff, and lots of players outside of the UK that could give you a good competition.
No matter what sport, all of our dart players play in, we're competitive at everything. If it's snooker, pool, we're just competitive at everything.
Yeah, of course. You say you play Monday night against Ross Smith, don't you?
Yeah, last game on a Monday night.
I say, blimey, I'm looking at some of the matchups as well. MVG versus Barney, Gerwyn Price, Daryl Gurney. It should be a cracking competition. Is it? You've been up to Blackpool and played before, have you?
Yeah, twice, but haven't had much success with it yet. But they always say it takes a couple of years to get into the match play, so fingers crossed to get a couple of wins underneath my belt this year.
What's the format of match play? Is it?
The first round's first to 10, and after that, I can't really remember. I remember the finals 18, but that's it.
Right. I don't know if Luke Littler is Luke Littler up there for this. Oh, yes, he's playing Ryan Searle on Sunday.
It's quite local to him, isn't it?
Just failed his driving test again. He might need a little arm round. He's going to need a lift. A, he'll need a lift, and B, he'll need a little arm round the shoulder. He keeps failing the theory, Josh. He can't get through the theory.
Well, I've only tried it once when I was 17, and now that's 7 years ago, and I haven't tried it since. Yeah. And I don't drive yet.
There you go.
Was that theory as well?
Yeah.
Oh, it seems to be, they're struggling with it, the kids. I don't know what it is. Oh, dear me. And you're off to Oz, I read. Is that right?
Yeah, I got the phone call a couple of weeks ago and I was on holiday. It was a shock, obviously, getting the call up for Australia, but it was an absolute privilege to say yes, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yeah, that should be sensational. When is that, next month?
Yeah, it will be leaving the 4th of August.
Brilliant. And you're a football fan as well, aren't you? I understand?
Yeah.
Who's your team?
Big football fan. I've got two that are close to my heart, Glasgow Rangers and Manchester United. But if I had to choose, it would be Glasgow Rangers.
Right, okay, you'd go for, okay, fair enough. How are you feeling about life as a Rangers fan now? You're going to...
Hopefully Russell Martin does the job for us.
Yeah.
We've had 7 new signings, and I haven't heard much of any of them, so hopefully that's a good surprise for the team. And also, Manchester United is doing a bit of business now with Matthias Cunha and Mbeumo, so hopefully that's good for them too.
Yeah, you'll play some good football under Russell Martin, so it won't be boring. Well, Josh, we wish you well at the World Match Play. Lovely to talk to you. All the best. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
There we are. There's Josh Rock there, and you can catch him in action on the talkSPORT YouTube channel, the Darts YouTube channel, from the Blackpool Winter Gardens, 7 p.m. that gets underway. We got loads of sport for you this weekend. Supersonic Saturday, we're calling it. We've got the Open Championship over on talkSPORT 2 from 9 a.m. Then at 11 here on talkSPORT, we kick off with the first test between the Lions and the Wallabies in Brisbane. Then at 6, off to Wembley for Usyk versus Dubois 2, and we'll be there later on for the weigh-in fallout. As we said, the darts, and wow, loads and loads of live sport for you. Women's cricket as well, covering the lot for you here on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. Lots more still to come, including a bit of boxing, the clips of the week, Jordan Nobbs on last night, and, well, Talk Golf was in Scotland in a few moments' time.
Serena Wiegman admits she thought England were going to be packing their bags at least 3 times during their Euros clash with Sweden. The Lionesses came back from 2-0 to then beat the Swedes in a dramatic penalty shootout. Chloe Kelly was instrumental in the comeback after she was brought on as a sub and played a huge role in both goals.
I can't lie, it was mad, but it just shows what we're capable of as a team. We get over the line no matter what we face. Hannah was unbelievable, but belief in our squads, belief in our staff, and we got the job done.
England will now face Italy in the semi-finals on Tuesday, but former Lioness Tash Dowie is worried about their consistency in this tournament.
How can you have performances like against the French, but then turn it on against the Dutch and the Wales, but then have a performance like you've had for 75 minutes, last night against Sweden? I think that's a frustrating thing, and actually for a lot of nations, probably coming up against England right now, a really tough thing to plan. What England are you coming up against?
Remember, England versus Italy will be live on talkSPORT. Liverpool are closing in on Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike in a deal that looks to be around 70 million. He's already agreed personal terms terms with the Premier League champions over a 6-year contract. It's a blow to Newcastle, who were interested in him first. So what's the deal with this striker? Here's German football broadcaster Konstantin Eckner.
Bit of a lanky striker, 6'2", roughly that, but actually quite a good technician, and also someone who can dribble, can come from outside the box. Also something else which probably is highly valued by Arne Slot. He's a great pressing player.
For all the latest transfer news, head to our live blog at talksport.com. Man United's new £50 million training ground is getting its own barbers and a new swimming pool. It's expected to open next month. I guess the team can thank Cristiano Ronaldo after he moaned about the facility so much when he returned in 2021. And don't forget to tune into talkSPORT 2 throughout the day for your Day 2 coverage of the Open.
Yes, good afternoon. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 4 o'clock. We've got some clips of the week for you at 3:30 today. Jordan Nobbs will be joining us. I'm sure still breathless after that match last night.
Oh, yeah.
It was
very exciting.
Pretty tense stuff, and we will bring you the semi-final next Tuesday against Italy for the Lionesses. Indeed, all the latter stage games, including Spain-Switzerland tonight. We're going to bring that one live over on talkSPORT 2. 8 o'clock kickoff. But of course, the Open continues at Royal Portrush, and we'll be catching up with Rupert and getting an update for you shortly. Before that, we thought we'd check in with a man we spoke to a couple of weeks ago. Happy memories of the Open back in the day as a qualifier. Zane Scotland joins us. Hi, Zane.
Hey, chaps. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah, we were just asking Rupert how the amateurs have been doing today, and it looks like only Cameron Adam is likely to make the cut currently. It is tough, isn't it, for the amateur players? I don't know what you've made of the course so far, but it's not looked easy at times. So, I mean, is one kind of what you'd expect?
Yeah, that kind of happens. It's very rare that you see 2 or 3 amateurs get in and make the cut, just because, as you say, the golf course is set up really, really difficult, really, really long. And it's a huge stage, you know, and it's kind of like it's a one big chance. And as much as you try and play it down, it just that is the case. And you know, and if you get off to a great start, then brilliant. But anything other than that, it's just a really big challenge. And you know what? They're just playing against fantastic golfers. You know, they don't necessarily blow up, but you're talking about the best golfers on the planet now.
And do you find sometimes, I don't know, there's 2 ways that can go. You can be inspired by that and think, well, I'm playing without pressure because, you know, I've got nothing to lose. I'm not going to beat these guys. But are you intimidated by that?
Yeah, I think all the amateurs now, they're very well aware that it's a massive opportunity for them to forward their careers. Amateurs now are not really, none of them want to be an amateur forever. Everyone wants to be a professional. And I know that this is a big chance. So with that comes that added pressure. But then, you've got different characters. You know, some characters want to get alongside Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, and feel right. I'm here, shoulder to shoulder. But I mean, that's few and far between. Like when Rory turned pro, that was his attitude. Yeah. He was just no doubt in his mind that he was going to go on and do what he's done here. But that's not the same for everybody else. Other people get there, but maybe not to Rory McIlroy's heights, but take a slightly different journey. It's a bit, you build up and, do learn the trade and so forth. So it does actually really depend on the character.
Who was your 3-ball back? Was it 1999? Who did you go out with, and were you intimidated by that?
No, you know what? I was so young. I was only 16. I don't think I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest with you.
That's very good.
If I'm being really honest, I was playing with another qualifier, a guy called Lee Thompson, nice chap, PJ Pro, and then a chap called Warren Bennett, who was a good European Tour player and and went on to win on the tour. But I'll tell you how laid back I was. We played the first round, and we come into the recorder's hut, and we're in there, and I was doing Warren's card. So, you do your playing partner's card, and you switch. And we got into the recorder's hut. I said to Warren, what did you make, just checking, what did you make on the first? He went, I made a 4 on the first. And I was like, Warren, what did you make on the second? He went, a 5. And he went to me, you haven't done the card, have you? I went, no.
Oh no!
Oh, dear.
Were they good to you as you were a young lad, or were they trying to get inside your head?
No, they were really good. I mean, even before the week, I got to chat to Tiger Woods on the range, and Gary Player came up to me, and I chatted with Payne Stewart. To be honest, I think the pros don't really feel, they don't try and get in the amateurs' heads, because if they're being really honest, they kind of think they're probably not going to win, and they're not taking money out of my pocket. So the pros are kind of okay with the amateurs being there. They never really try and give them too much of a hard time.
Because it did come a bit of a story, because you were so young, you're the youngest qualifier. I think you still are, aren't you? Are you still the youngest qualifier for the Open?
Yeah, youngest one to go through the pre-qualifying system. Yeah, right.
So, it was a bit of a story at the time, wasn't it? So you went in with a little bit of notoriety.
Yeah, a tiny bit. I was quite a good player, but being so young, I didn't know that I wasn't supposed to do that. So when I went to the qualifying, I was just thought, you should shoot a couple of 3 good rounds and you get in. And then I did that, and then all the newspapers and reporters turned up to my qualifying venue, and I was thinking, what's all the fuss about? I'm doing what I was supposed to do. And then you arrive at the Open, and those days, you finished, that was on the Monday. So then on the Tuesday morning, you're on the driving range next to Greg Norman, Darren Clarke, Tiger Woods, and all these characters. But again, I think because I was so young, I just thought, I've been watching golf on television. I've seen these guys play golf. So I was like, yeah, whatever. And my dad was there, and Dad's like, oh, look, there's Greg Norman. And I was thinking, we watched him last week on the telly. Like, I'm just, get out of my way.
That's brilliant.
That's right. Excellent.
The lack of pressure, obviously, but not like Rory. I mean, he says it's not as bad as last time, but there's still a lot on him, isn't there? There's so much expectation.
There's huge expectation. Anytime any golf tournament goes to Ireland, let alone the Open Championship, it's a massive deal. All the supporters are out, and Rory's very aware of what he's doing in the game, the legacy, the story that he's building, whereas some other players don't really care about all that, but Rory does care about all that, and he's been quite open about it. And the times when he's tried to play it down and tried to say he knows what he's doing have kind of come back to bite him a little bit, and it bit him last time. And I think he's acutely aware this time of, this is a little bit harder for me than everyone else, but being a 4-time or having won all 4 majors, it's the challenge that he kind of needs right now, because nothing else is really grasping his interest. But a home win is actually what he wants to tick off.
I mean, look, he's pretty well set on 3 under before he goes out. Brian Harman's the clubhouse leader at the moment on 8 under. But we look at some of those guys who say still to go out. Matt Fitzpatrick's 5 under, etc., etc. Scheffler's 3 under. We could have put a decent round in. It could be a very different looking leaderboard by the end of the day.
Yeah, I believe it will. You tend to find that the wind tends to drop later in the day. It's pretty green. It's pretty lush out there. So if the wind drops, there are definitely birdies to be had. The wind's been up for most of the day so far, so it's not been really, really difficult. But there's been a challenge there. But if the wind drops, there's birdies. And as you say, Scotty Scheffler didn't even look like he really got out of 2nd or 3rd gear yesterday, and he's there, right there, 3 under. The last year's Open champion, Tanner Schauffele, just teed off. There was another story of Bryson DeChambeau blew himself out of the water yesterday with a +7, 78. Bounced back today with a 6 under. Just missed a putt on the last hole there to shoot 7 under. So he looks like he might creep in for the weekend, but a long way back. But Brian Harman, won here a couple of years ago. Right at the moment, he sits top of the leaderboard, which is nobody would have called that, even with him being a past champion.
Apart from those you've mentioned, who else do you like the look of at the moment from what you've seen so far? And who are you a bit surprised and disappointed with?
I think Bryson's the first one I'd be very disappointed with, to be honest. I really thought that he would press on. He was probably the 2nd or 3rd favourite, really. But it's so hard to get away from the big names. What's been a shame is the live players haven't quite performed as you would normally expect them to. That's become, it seems to be most majors that happens. Yes, they'll either win or around that they don't really show. So that's been a bit of a disappointment. But yeah, good to see Matt Fitzpatrick playing well again. But it's just hard to look anywhere else other than Rory and Scotty Shepherd. What a battle that would be.
Yeah.
Scotty Shepherd kind of would need an Open Championship just to fuel his legacy a little bit. He's kind of got the Masters. He won the PGA. Okay, yeah, he will win a US Open. But I think the one that's trickiest for him is the Open because there's so many variables. So that's that story. And the other story is, just the possibility of Rory McIlroy being in the hunt come Sunday in Northern Ireland would be something that we probably haven't seen in our generation of golfers.
No, that would be fantastic. Just a very quick one on the slow play, which was all the talk of overnight, really. And the Live guys were saying they were getting frustrated because their format is very different. Yeah, I mean, what are you made of that? I mean, do they need to do something about it? The players don't seem to care because they know they're not going to get penalised particularly.
Yeah, this is there's so many small things. It's a 1T start, so that normally backs things up because it means the course is full. So there's nowhere, as you say, they're not going to get penalised because they've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But it's a tough golf course. But Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas nearly 6 hours.
Yeah.
Which is just absolutely painful. We did commentary at St Andrews a couple of years ago. Ended up having to go off air when Tiger was on the 14th once because it was so slow. There's just so many people walking with every group, and they've all kind of got the players move out of the way, then all the people have to move out of the way as well. So then that takes a little bit longer. Then they're looking for balls, but it is, just makes you pull your hair out.
Yeah. Well, enjoy the rest of the weekend, Zane. It's lovely to talk to you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, chaps. Take care.
There we are.
Very threatening skies at the moment.
Yeah, looking at the picture, it does look a bit evil. We'll go back to Rupert and see if he's pulled on the waterproofs. Quite possibly.
My namesake Harris English is.
Andy said earlier on I might change my name to Harris English, and I thought, well, if you're going to do that, I'll have to change my name as well. And I thought I might change my name to Cillian Husk. So it's possible. I mean, it's unlikely, but it's possible on Monday you'll be listening to English and Husk on talkSPORT. So or Husk and English.
And then I thought perhaps Harris Pilton would be quite.
Who's Harris Pilton?
Well, I don't know. This is a bit of an adaptation from Harris English.
Oh, okay, right.
I'm sticking with Harris English.
Okay, Harris. Well, we'll head up there in a few moments' time. But Jordan Nobbs joins us for a chat next. Former England midfielder. We will look back on yesterday's madness in that game against Sweden and say, just a reminder, we're going to bring you the semi-final against Italy next Tuesday live on talkSPORT. But we're here with Toolstation. Get fast track delivery in as little as 30 minutes on the Toolstation app. Next stop, Toolstation.
2 years ago, the controversy surrounded, was it a low blow, wasn't it a low blow?
I'm sure we'll see it again, but the crowd are booing as soon as it landed. You can see the pain on Usyk.
This is what I want, and now we're getting it. The big show, and yeah, gonna put it right.
Gets Dubois going, and now Dubois coming back.
Going to chat to Jordan Nobbs very shortly and hear from Chloe Kelly after the mayhem of last night at the game against Sweden. But before that, we'll check in once again at the Open with Arnold Clark.
The Open Update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Get the UK's best used car deals guaranteed.
Rupert Bell has an update for us. Rupert.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the last 5 minutes, a torrential downpour is now here at Royal Portrush. And so for the late starters, amongst them Shane Lowry and Scotty Scheffler, it looks as if they're going to get the raw end of the deal today, because it is a torrential downpour. And so the early starters, who included Brian Harman with his excellent 65, has put him, one clear of Hao Tong Lee. And Rasmus Højgaard at 5 under, along with Tyrrell Hatton, and Bob McIntyre just missed out on a birdie. An excellent 66 from the Scotsman has really put him right in the mix. Matt Fitzpatrick's on 5 under out on the course. Rory McIlroy coming to the end of his round. Well, he's at 2 under for his round, 3 under for the championship, 5 back. But amongst Bryson DeChambeau has come up with one of the rounds of the day, matching Brian Harman to finish at 1 over par, having seemingly blown his chances yesterday when he was discarded as 79. Today he's bounced back terrifically to be back in the mix. But Rory McIlroy, frustrating for his supporters. Scotty Scheffler and Shane Lowry have just begun their rounds, but as I say, torrential downpour. And just a quick mention for another player going along nicely. Matthew Jordan loves playing in the Open. Well, he's currently 4 under, although he's just dropped a shot at the par 3 6th hole. So it's Harman leading the way, just as he was at the halfway stage 2 years ago when he went on to win the championship.
Thanks very much, Rupert. Back to Rupert a little bit later on. Yeah, you can hear the rain pouring down. We look at our monitors. Yeah, the screens, all the screens are absolutely covered in rain. Tough out there for the blokes who've set off, Andy, in the last half an hour ago. That is links golf for you. So let's hear from Chloe Kelly, player of the match for me last night, I felt, even though she only came on in 70 minutes.
Definitely.
She spoke to talkSPORT after they reached the semi-finals last night. She said the team showed great spirit to come back and win the match.
I can't lie, it was mad. But it just shows what we're capable of as a team. We get over the line no matter what we face. Hannah was unbelievable, but belief in our squads, belief in our staff, and we got the job done.
There we are. It's Chloe Kelly. Let's chat now to the former England midfielder, Jordan Nobbs. Hi, Jordan.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Yes,
good,
thank
thanks.
you.
Well, relieved, obviously, after that penalty shootout. The thing about Chloe Kelly as well, when she came on, she looked very confident. It wasn't like this was someone... She was almost like she was saying, look, yeah, we've got this and we can get back into this game. And I think she oozed confidence. And then, of course, she put in a couple of absolute pearlers, great crosses.
Yeah, they're the players, they start for club, they want to play for their country, and, they'll be itching to get on that pitch. And we saw obviously Chloe score in the final in 2022 and then, come on, and I mean, her crossing ability is one of the best. So she just made a massive impact on the game, and we really needed subs to come on and put that positivity really into trying to get England a goal back.
What can you put that start down to?
Yeah,
it was
the
crazy.
second game in the tournament that's happened.
Yeah, I mean, they seemed off it. There was a lot of basic errors from players you just wouldn't expect. I mean, Kira Walsh missed control. I mean, it can happen, but you just don't expect that. They just didn't look they were quite ready to go.
Yeah, Sweden looked like a team. I mean, they're definitely a really good team. They've got far in tournaments before, but I think Sweden looked like a team that were like, we are here to win. I think the way they pressed, it's probably one of the first times you see a team press in England because they know they have good players on the ball and, they have controllers like Kira Walsh, like you mentioned. And I think that high press really rattled them. And then obviously, Sweden's tactic is make a channel run. And, that was kind of what was working. I mean, the first 20 minutes, you thought they've nailed their tactics and, they're kind of shown England what they've got to do to beat them.
They would and should have been prepared for that. I mean, was that not an obvious tactic, really, that they were going to come at us like that and press, and we got caught a bit cold?
Yeah, it's true. It is like a typical tactic with Stina Blackstenius. She's going to make them runs. And then is it a bit like the first game, why is that kind of not clicking, or why is there a bit of sloppy passes? Because I think the France game, it's like, you can have a bad day and it's still the group stage, there's time to get through. I think they'll take a lot from it. I think they'll definitely still take the positives of England seem to find a way to win, and that is the main thing. No one will look back in 2 weeks' time and go, "Oh, remember that dodgy 20 minutes?" That it's about finding a way to win, and what a exciting game for the fans. It was just insane.
Have you ever seen a penalty shootout like that? It was amongst the worst, wasn't it?
Worse than the best when you win it.
Do you think it must have been nerves, mustn't it? I mean, they're better than that, all those players, I think.
I think it's nerves. I think it's probably tired legs, tired head. You obviously had a few younger players taking one. Grace Clinton. There's not many players that have took penalties in a major tournament, and I think that showed from Sweden and England. And obviously the goalkeepers, really did a great job. But yeah, I've never seen a penalty shootout where a team have 3 chances of scoring and miss all 3. I think that's got to be an unusual thing where it's like, it's fate that the Lionesses are getting through. If you miss 3, you're going to eventually lose that chance.
It was interesting. We were talking earlier on to Ben Littleton, who wrote a book about penalties, and he was saying he was surprised at the Swedish penalty takers. Quite a few of their big hitters, substitutions were made, and they even said in commentary, I think that's with a view to penalties, when Blackstenius went off, she never took a penalty. It was just had some weird choices, didn't they? Maybe some of the players just didn't fancy it.
Yeah, I think Stina isn't someone that likes to take penalties, but you look at the substitutions Sweden made, and they took off Stina, they took off Rolfo. They're very, very experienced players, and they're people you want to take pens. And obviously you never know if it's injury, but you kind of looked at that and thought, you looked at England's substitutions, changed the game, and you look at Sweden's substitutions, it looked like nerves. They brought in a fullback who was very, very young. It's a really difficult position to put your team in. So I thought that substitutes from Serena and change of shape just totally nullified what Sweden tried to do.
Yeah. Are you making changes for Tuesday? I mean, it looks like Leah Williamson, there might be an enforced one. She didn't look good at the end of the game, the ice on her ankle. So, but I mean, beyond that, I mean, players like Chloe Kelly and Michelle Aguiman did very well when they came on, but do you keep it as is? You let them have an impact from the bench?
I still think with the midfield front line, it would stay pretty similar from Serena. I think she'll now know that she has super subs that she can bring on if it's we need some goals. But I guess the back line has always been a change that, I've never seen Serena do before. To change your back line in multiple games is something that hasn't quite settled yet. So we could see another change in that. But I think you have to still look at this game, but you're still looking at what's my team for one of the big dogs in the final.
Yeah.
You don't want to be swapping and changing your team too much.
I mean, Jess Carter, I've seen her play for Chelsea a lot, and she's great, but she struggled last night. I wasn't surprised she got taken off.
I mean, they seemed to target her a bit, didn't they?
They let her have the ball a lot as well.
Yeah, and they were looking at playing behind her, and that's where one of the goals came from. It was. I mean, I don't know why. What do you make of that?
Yeah, tough for Jess because obviously I think everyone in that first game, didn't have the best game. She probably got highlighted a bit more with the Cascarino on the wing. Had a really good game, and then you look at the game after that, you thought right back on track, and it's just that little bit of inconsistency. So it's do you stick with the experience, or I think when Esme Morgan came on, she has that little bit more speed, but. Yeah, it's you want your players in form on the pitch. So I feel for Jess because it looked like she'd come back from quite a tough, situation, and then it was hard for the back line to get out really.
Finally, on the game, are you feeling quite confident? We saw Italy the other night against Norway. That was a very exciting game as well. So you're confident going into that? I suppose it depends on the walking wounded. We'll get some reports on how everybody's doing, won't we?
Yeah, I think whoever got through with England and Sweden, I think we're going to make it to the final. I think Italy have done a great job of getting to where they are now, but I just can't see England not beating them.
There is a picture of Sir Bobby Robson just behind you on the screens if people are watching on YouTube, and that's because you've crossed the Rubicon. Having played for Sunderland, you've gone to the Toon, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, yeah. So I've been training today. And so I'm back up north. I'm obviously from the northeast, and some good times ahead.
Good stuff. Yeah, so that's WSL 2, isn't it? But obviously with the hope that recruiting you and others, you can get the team up into the top league.
Yeah, it's definitely a very big, ambitious club, and I think it was the right time for me to come back home and have a new challenge and try and get. Some from the northeast playing in the WSL. So nothing happens overnight, but I believe that this is a very ambitious club to push for promotion.
Brilliant. Look, we wish you well. Good to talk to you. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
Jordan Nobbs there, Newcastle midfielder and former England midfielder.
Ref was interesting that game last night. She collided with the players
She went over twice, didn't she?
And fell over once.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And gave away one corner that she...
Also, there was one. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, also, they were playing it because it's, they're obviously the idea of the crowd that won't go absolutely nuts. They often replay stuff straight on the... You heard a lot of boos.
You did.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to bring you the semi-final against Italy live on talkSPORT on Tuesday night. All the remaining games are on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2 at Euro 2025. Clips of the week are next.
Sarina Wiegman admits she thought England were going to be packing their bags at least 3 times during their Euros clash with Sweden. The Lionesses came back from 2-0 to then beat the Swedes in a dramatic penalty shootout. Chloe Kelly was instrumental in the comeback after she was brought on as a sub and played a huge role in both goals.
I can't lie, it was mad, but it just shows what we're capable of as a team. We get over the line no matter what we face. Hannah was unbelievable, but belief in our squads, belief in our staff, and we got the job done.
Remember, England versus Italy will be live on talkSPORT. Liverpool are closing in on Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike in a deal that looks to be around 70 million. He's already agreed personal terms with the Premier League champions over a 6-year contract. It's a blow to Newcastle, who were interested in him first. So what's the deal with this striker? Here's German football broadcaster Konstantin Eckner.
Bit of a lanky striker, 6'2", roughly that, but actually quite a good technician and also someone who can dribble, can come from outside the box. Also something else which probably is highly valued by Arne Slot. He's a great pressing player.
And don't forget to tune into talkSPORT 2 throughout the day for your Day 2 coverage of the Open.
Clips of the week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Our friendly colleagues are right behind you at over 580 stations. Next stop, Toolstation.
talkSPORT Clips of the Week.
Yes, it's Clips of the Week time with Toolstation. We have 16 for you today, including an old classic. Andy, why don't you kick us off?
Well, we kick off today with former Newcastle manager and Final Word co-host Alan Pardew and some quirky tennis pronunciations.
And I've seen them all come and go. Agassi, Becker, Borg, Nastasi, Federer, Djokovic.
Sorry, can we have those again, please, Pards?
Agassi, Becker, Borg, Nastasi, Federer, Djokovic.
Federer? We're not quite sure whether it's Gavin and Stacey.
You shouldn't have had those beans, Boris.
Agassi, Becker, that's true. Djokovic. But is it Gavin and Stacey or is it Boise? We haven't quite worked out. Federer?
Yeah, I think it is.
Beautifully
Gavin
said. That's it. Anyway.
However much Alan was struggling there, when it comes to mispronouncing names, no one will ever match the legendary Liz Saul.
Liz Saul there.
Bex is following the footsteps of some of sport's biggest names, such as Johan Croft, Franz Birkenborker and George Best.
There we are, some of the sport's biggest names there. Loved her football, did Liz. Yeah. Actually, staying with tennis, we were shocked to hear betting expert Simon Clare say this.
Benchich, the Swiss lady who was world number 4, went off and had a daughter. I watched her actually on court number 1 on Monday.
Blimey, give the woman a bit of privacy. She's giving birth, Simon. I mean, what sort of odds on whether it was going to be a boy or a girl? That's what it was. He wanted it to be the latest with the odds.
This is Alan Brazil now, who's right across Euro 2025.
He certainly is.
Let's talk Lionesses as a Battle of Britain. This Sunday in victory versus the Welsh will book Serena Wagman's side in the next round.
Who?
Serena Wagman.
Saluna Wagman.
Saluna Wagman. I do love. I feel he might have been reading that. Carlton Cole now struggling with a word.
What you would want is a bit of continuity. I always get my words mixed. Continuity. Is that a word? Try again. Continuity. There you go.
He's not getting a job as a continuity announcer, is he?
He might get a job as a continuity announcer, whatever that is.
This is Ray Parlour with one we're calling Stop Saying One Man Club.
Looks well, John, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, he's a one-man club.
Plays a lot of golf.
He's a one-man club. A little bit like, do you know who he reminds me of? A little bit Tony Adams. Tony Adams is a one-man club as well.
Yeah, stop saying one-man club, Ray.
It's one club man.
Doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't really know.
And this is your match commentator, Nigel Adderley.
Now Soteldo again. Looks a tricky player with a low centre of gravity.
That's a low centre of gravity in Ireland, is what we're guessing.
Gavity and Stacey.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Federer.
It's perfect. Let's get the weather now with Ben Fletcher.
Heavy rain across northern areas with thundery showers in places. Sunny spells further north, south.
or east or west, showers, no showers.
Take your pick.
Yeah, that's it. Here's the Moose, keeping us in touch with Spain v Belgium at the Euros.
Van Havermaet headed home from 4 yards out. Spain, though, weren't to be denied a half-time lead. From a corner of their own, Pina swung the ball to the far post.
Who? Sorry, who? Moose?
Pina swung the ball to the far post.
Yeah, OK, we thought you said that. I don't think I've ever seen her play. Remember, work on the pronunciation of that one. Anyway, back to Alan Pardew discussing the former Everton striker, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Well, we think so, anyway.
But I do want to ask a question, Lawrence. What does he think of his Man United fan, right?
Yeah.
Calvin Lewis, would you like his signature?
Yeah, what about Calvin Harris?
He'd do a job, Calvin Harris. Although I don't think he needs the money.
No, he doesn't.
Even the money that Manchester United pay. But good old Calvin Lewis there. So let's check in with Dean Saunders and Jeff Stelling on breakfast to see what they've been discussing during the Premier League close season.
I'll tell you what I've refused to do, Jeff. Eat a biscuit for breakfast. I've refused to do it.
Roll on August the 17th.
Here's Big Alan again on one of his favourite female vocalists.
Chris has raised, right? He's raised millions over the years.
Brilliant.
People like Paloma Face.
Who's Paloma Face?
No relation to Adam Face.
And I did love the band, Eric Clapton, Stevie Winwood. Blind Face. Just some of the other famous faces.
Just time.
Yeah.
Well, one more from Ray Parlour. Here talking boxing.
Usyk knows how to get round the ring, doesn't he? He knows when to throw that left punch.
Well, I hope not.
MMA.
We had the low blow in the first fight. Can't have some roundhouse kick going in. Imagine that. He's so football, Ray. That's what he's doing left foot.
Really, yeah.
And finally, it's Carry On Talk Sport for this week, featuring Talk Radio's Alex Phillips and Talk Sport's very own Jim White.
Is someone like Nigel just not really fitting anymore? I mean, Churchill might have got away with guzzling glasses of champagne before he even got out of bed with his massive stogie.
Our sympathy goes out to referee Joe, who's a few doors down, but far enough away to take about 3/4 of an hour to come through here and stiffen me.
What does that even mean?
I don't know, maybe it's a Scottishism. And maybe somebody up in Scotland could tell us, somebody could, it came in and stiffened me means something
Stiffener
else.
is a drink, is it? Like a
Yeah, but it wouldn't, I mean, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, it wouldn't be that.
No,
for all
it
sorts
doesn't
of
even drink
reasons.
either, yeah.
Exactly. So, I don't know. Let us know, but maybe we should just leave it.
Or you just ask Jim, I suppose.
Yeah, we could ask Jim. He's on holiday.
I'll send him a text.
Yeah, I just send him. Don't interrupt his holiday with that.
What did you mean?
So we should thank Wollaston Village FC, Gren Strongatham, Real St Nick, David Clark, Glyn Berrington, Jonesy Jones, Nick Numbers, Reverend Ruthless, James John, Morven Walker, Elaine Barlow and Eager Reader. They all suggested clips that were played this week. So if you hear a clip on TalkSport over the next 7 days, please do send it in to us, talksport.com/H&J. You can text it to 81089. Can tweet it to TSH&J, TSHANDJ. We will need a day and a time from you as always, so we've got a fighting chance of tracking it down.
Reverend Ruthless leave about 3 months ago.
He's still supplying clips. He's got nothing better to do, is he?
I suppose not, yeah.
So yes, if you could send that in to us, say down a time narrows it down. You want to hear the clips of the week again, they're available as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts and via the TalkSport app, I believe, as is the H&J Daily with some of the best bits of this afternoon's show, which including a chat with Chris Hollings and Jimmy Nesbitt, clearly enjoying himself.
Very much so.
Enjoying himself at Portrush, talking Manchester United and the joys of the Open being in Northern Ireland. Stan Collymore was on good form. We covered all that for you. And Zane Scotland was fascinating, taking us back what it's like as a young qualifier, young amateur to play at the Open. And so some good stuff in the H&J Daily podcast. So if you missed any of that, you'll be able to check it out wherever you get your podcast. But for now, that was our Clips of the Week. Thanks to Toolstation.
Clips of the Week on talkSPORT with Toolstation. Our friendly colleagues are right behind you at over 580 stations. Next stop, Toolstation.
Let's head back to the Open. Looks like that was a bit of a shower. If this is live pictures we're watching, the guys have ditched the brollies. Let's find out. That's right, that's with our good friends at Arnold Clark.
The Open Update on talkSPORT with Arnold Clark. Everything for your car, all in one place.
No, I take that back. I still see a few brollies. It doesn't look quite as bad as it was just now, Rupert.
It definitely eased up for the last half an hour or so. It has been torrential, which certainly Rory McIlroy finished his round in that torrential downpour, and he's finished at 3 under. Nearly got a birdie on the 18th. A frustrating day. His off the tee has just been very disappointing. He's sort of having to scramble his way to a 3 under par total, which is 5 behind the clubhouse leader, Brian Harman, who missed all the bad weather. But Scotty Scheffler, starting at 3 under, he began in the torrential downpour. No problem for the world number one at the first hole. A lovely birdie to get to 4 under par. So ominously good signs from Scotty Scheffler. Shane Lowry's playing alongside him. He's, of course, won here in 2019. He is 1 under par for the championship. Hopefully get something going to delight this now rain-soaked crowd. Huge galleries here. Other players on the move. Matt Fitzpatrick with a birdie after the Højgaard twins definitely having a good Open championship. But Brian Harman sitting out in front at present at 8 under par.
Thanks very much, Rupert. Yeah, it goes back to what Zane Scotland was saying. He said Scotty Scheffler, well, he hadn't got out of second gear. So, yeah, ominous, says Rupert. Regular updates, of course, in Drive this afternoon. Shaban Earn and Jermaine Pennant are with you from 4 o'clock. But we're off to the weigh-in. Oh, it's just concluded, actually.
Oh, right.
Gareth Davis will tell us what the guys have weighed in at. It's Usyk, Dubois, too, of course.
They're not trash talkers, so it won't be. I don't think it's going to be sensational.
No, I mean, we'll get the standard face-off you all get. But anyway, Gareth A. Davis watched it all unfold for us, and we'll bring you that fight live tomorrow evening, all the build-up from 6 o'clock. We're here with Toolstation, and you can download the Toolstation app for fast-track delivery on thousands of products. Next stop, Toolstation.
2 years ago, the controversy surrounded, was it a low blow, wasn't it a low blow?
I'm sure we'll see it again, but the crowd are booing as soon as it landed. You can see the pain on Usyk.
This is what I want, and now we're getting it. It's a big show, and we're going to put it right.
Gets Dubois going, and now Dubois coming back.
So, Andy.
I said Dietmar Hamann there.
You did. Just stretching.
Just stretching.
Yeah.
Coldplay are back at Wembley this summer, and we've got a huge VIP prize up for grabs for one lucky listener.
Yeah.
We're giving you the chance to win 6 tickets in a private box for you and your mates on August the 22nd with full hospitality.
Yeah.
Plus, and this is amazing, we're chucking in 10 grand spending money completely tax-free. Here's how to enter.
Yeah, do think carefully about the 5 people you take with you. In light of recent news. For a chance to win, text the word WIN to 88838. That's 88838 by the 4th of August, 11 p.m, and you're in the draw. Text cost £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission or post your name and number to Coldplay competition or Coldplay prize draw. P.O. Box 3190 Colchester CO2 8GP to arrive by 5 p.m. on the 7th of August, 18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full T's and C's at talksport.com.
All 3 in favour of the winner and the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
The first unified heavyweight champion from Britain in a century.
Lennox Lewis.
The Americans didn't want me to take it over to Britain, but I actually persevered and succeeded.
I'm in my prime of my career now, so it's now or never.
Down goes Joshua. Dubois hits him with a tremendous right-hand counter.
Slayed one king back in September.
Dynamite Daniel Dubois has detonated at Wembley Stadium.
He's about to slay another king on the 19th of July.
Bombs away. Are you going to knock him out? Bombs away, mate.
You dropped up to Dubois. He's put Joshua down. And Alexander Usyk finds the answer.
The minute you have all the 4 belts, you create history.
You know what they say? We'll see. We'll see.
Heavyweight brilliance, heavyweight occasion, heavyweight radio. How about that?
Yes, it's live on talkSPORT tomorrow night. All the build-up from 6, Usyk, Dubois 2. The guys have just weighed in. Gareth A. Davis watched it all unfold. Good afternoon, Gareth.
Good afternoon, broadcast legends Paul and Andy. How are you? Well, I'm here at Box Park. It's swelteringly hot. Yes, why am I wearing a waistcoat and a jacket? It's the circus. It's the weigh-in circus. It's the big occasion. Alexander Usyk, to give you the bare facts, 227.3 pounds. That's the same weight as what he weighed in against Tyson Fury back in December. The perfect weight at heavyweight for him. Daniel Dubois, 243.8 pounds, 5 pounds lighter than when he fought Anthony Joshua here behind me at the Great Wembley Stadium back in September. It tells me that Dubois doesn't mind a fast fight, but he's got very fit, and if he has to go the distance, he'll go the distance.
In the old money then, 17 stone 6 for Dubois and 16 stone 3 for Usyk. Any surprises there, Gareth?
Not really. I mean, I think Usyk he's built into that weight, hasn't he, from cruiserweight up to heavyweight. He's done it for 5 years. He's very comfortable at it. He's beaten Anthony Joshua twice. He's beaten the big rumbustious Derek Chisora, who people say have given him the most problems in the ring. I don't agree with that. He's beaten Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois once. He just needs to do it one more time, and really he ought to saddle up, leave the saloon bar and end up somewhere in the desert plains with his own cattle ranch, if I can put it that way. But he won't. He'll carry on. But this is a big moment for Daniel Dubois. It's been a weird week, gents, in some ways. In our bubble, it's enormous. But because neither man's given to trash talking or smack talk, it's felt a little bit turgid at times. Not when we've sat down individually with them, but at the set pieces like today. They faced off. There wasn't any bristling dislike or hatred between each other. They're just both primed and ready. But I guarantee you one thing, everyone's divided on what's going to happen tomorrow night, but everybody's fascinated to see how it plays out.
Absolutely. I mean, Usyk has that thing in sport. PSG had going into last weekend. He looks unbeatable. You look at him and you think, every time you watch him, he's got that thing where he works out the opponent.
The boxing IQ, which is
so clever and so brilliant. But look, all great champions, I mean, apart from Kawasaki, they usually lose in the end, don't they?
Well, he's 38, 39 next January, but what he has is, as you say, a boxing IQ in which he puts you under pressure, he keeps you focused all the time, and he tires you out. My feeling is both men will jump into the centre of the ring tomorrow and not want to be moved back by the other man. What Usyk does, he feints, he moves, he can juggle, remember, he can dance in a wildly out of control dance, but he's in against a man 11 years his younger, who's very powerful, who believes in himself, who's got the right soothsayers behind him, who's been looking at the Wembley Arch from his training ground thinking, I can do this. And as I said to you yesterday afternoon, the guys saw him contemplating that Wembley turf from one of the boxes for 25 minutes. It's an extraordinary moment for Daniel Dubois, because it really will be the king is dead, long live the king, if he takes over and he'll herald in a new era. But if Usyk does it, he's almost completed the round. Ajit Kabayel is standing over there. Joseph Parker is over there. They both are guys that Usyk could fight as well. He may well go on, but he's got to do it against the young man who's got blinkers on at the moment.
Yeah, it's fascinating to think how long he will go on for, because he's got nothing to prove to anybody. He's already a legend and one of the absolute all-time greats. So you wonder what the catalyst will be for him to call it a day.
It could just be that he has a brilliant night tomorrow night. Let's say he knocks out Daniel Dubois early even, because Dubois comes hard and fast and gets caught on the counter. He may decide he's had enough, but I don't think he will. I think he might fight Tyson Fury again. He might fight Kabayel and Parker. He's got an attitude, an aptitude, an aura, a presence. This week he's done 2 major events for the Ukrainian people. I mean, I spoke to many big names this week, and they've all said, boxers I mean, and they've all said that if they have a country behind them. I remember Manny Pacquiao being like this. It wasn't just boxing for him. He was fighting for his people. Usyk's fighting for his people. The message is bigger.
Absolutely. We'll hear from you tomorrow, Gareth. Thanks very much. Gareth A. Davis. There he is, Gareth A. Davis at the box.
He's quite a legend himself now, let's be honest.
Indeed. Just had the weigh-in. Thomas Frank has just given his first press conference as Spurs manager, and I'm sure Shaban and Jermaine will be bringing us some of the highlights from that and getting their thoughts on that. When they join us in a couple of minutes. In France?
No, in Francis.
What, Francis Frank?
I said he's good.
Frank Francis?
He talks a good game, Francis.
Frank. Well, I think it's time for you to go home. It's time for a lie down, Andy. Andy's off to have a lie down and to change his name to Harris English, apparently.
I know.
Just some of the things we've discussed today. If you've missed all that, you can find it on the H&J Daily podcast, which is available wherever you get your podcast. We'll see you Monday when we'll know the winner of Usyk Dubois and the Open. and all manner of other stuff as well, and their first Lions test, all of which you'll hear on
the whole day
talkSPORT.
watching and listening to sport. Incredible.
Have a great weekend. Shaban, Jermaine Pennant up next.